Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Xbox Ultimate Podcast, episode 162. Big day today in the gaming world. We had a gaming event. BlizzCon opening ceremony was today. We had an
Xbox
appearance.
show.
It is an Xbox show. Crazy to think and say that, but it is. We co-streamed it today, and kind of watched it as a 2 hours, I think, is around what it was. So we all watched that, and we'll give some thoughts about it here in a minute. But thank you all to the chat for being here and for being part of everything we do on any of our shows. You guys all rock. Audio listeners, appreciate you as well. You're all amazing. Thank you for being a part of Fun Speculation. All right, so let's get to this awesome panel here. Fuzzy Belvedere, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here with you guys. And man, I'm pretty sure we're going to get into some spicy topics tonight because gaming media has just forgot to report on the gaming media or the gaming industry as a whole. But yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it's we'll definitely get into that, man. It's like it's just I don't know. I don't understand this world anymore sometimes when it comes to news, period, regardless of what it's about. Any industry really, but video games. It's my hobby, man. Don't fuck with my hobby. You know. Let's go. How are you doing, 3-bit?
I'm feeling better. I was starting to feel a little sick, but I've got all the vitamins.
Did you have
and stuff,
elderberry? Did you take some elderberry vitamins, 3-bit?
I ran out of elderberry, but I got these. I don't know.
We're not sponsored. Get that fuck
We
out.
also can't.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's also
sorry.
backwards.
Oh, it's backwards. No, I'm feeling better. Had a great show with the Blizzard thing. I think the World of Warcraft expansions actually makes me interested in possibly jumping back in. It's been a long time. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and we're gonna have a good show. Let's go.
Right on, man. Jasper, how you doing, Jasper?
Pretty good, I guess. I mean, we had a show today, so I haven't really done much since then. So no updates, I guess.
That's like 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago, I think, right? Right around there.
Yeah.
You just sat there.
I think so.
You just sat there staring.
Yeah, just stare at the ball, watch the paint dry.
It's like, man, this podcast better start soon. I'm getting really fucking bored sitting here in this chair ever since BlizzCon.
Yeah, Jasper's lying. He sat there and stared at the Modern Warfare 3 ad and as Series X the whole entire time.
Yeah,
so I did.
Probably.
He didn't know how to get rid of it.
Couldn't figure it
It was
out.
just intrusive.
It was not skippable. That's what I heard.
It was vomit inducing.
he just sat there, kept staring at it. I keep vomiting. I can't stop.
Couldn't like turn right and then press A, or was it just a B?
I think you can just hit the B button.
Yeah.
You can
like,
hit B or you can hit X.
or hit X.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so much effort. Oh my god!
it popped up for me and it was gone in like literally 0.02 seconds.
Like I said, it made it easier for me to buy the game I was going to buy anyways. I actually was like, hey, all right, thank you. I just went right to the store.
That's the weird thing is like I already purchased it and I still got the ad.
Yeah.
So like that could have been improved, but like it's still whatever.
Yeah,
they want you to buy it as a gift for somebody else.
yeah, you could gift it.
Yeah, fuck
How
it.
come I didn't get the ad?
Yeah.
I want the ad.
Maybe you want to buy it twice to support the devs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, support Call of Duty.
It's so weird
They'll
because
come
like,
out in 3 days and be like,
this-
"We made $1 billion."
Jasper
Four-
alone.
4 out of 10.
Shout out to Jasper.
Due to our predatory ad, Call of Duty
Yes.
sales are up this year despite the 4. Pong Soul, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, bro. I had a great day. I lurked while I was at work for a short day, listening to you guys do the BlizzCon. I got a couple comments in there. Obviously, BlizzCon being the big topic tonight, we will definitely talk about it. No surprises, but it was definitely good to see some people show up on that stage. More than one person, in fact. I was really impressed by some of it. But yeah, then I went and watched my niece play for the Double Ace Minnesota State Championships in soccer. So unfortunately they lost. She got hurt very early on. She's the second best player on their team right now. So that didn't go well. She toughed it out, but just they lost 1-0. But yeah, I'm excited to talk some gaming. I, unlike a lot of people, am actually enjoying the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. I enjoy the open the open missions that they now have that kind of throw in Warzone. So yeah, I'm having a good time with it.
On the Call of Duty thing, I know we'll get into more of it later as we're discussing the reviews and stuff, but I do have a question about the open maps, right? For those missions. Is it like, does you think it makes it feel more slow and like methodical and tactical, like with it being like that, or
it just feels like you've got the choice to play how you want to play? Yeah, exactly, Jasper. Right. So you can play it slow and methodical just like you could, and you can do that in a lot of these missions. Actually, there's some really cool missions. I just completed one. Again, it's all how you want to play it, but I think it just gives you more options.
Yeah.
And again, running around and finding fully upgraded weapons, right? Legendary weapons, whatever you want to call them, fully upgraded weapons, changing your entire play style during that mission from what you were planning on doing is super cool with all the gadgets and stuff. I mean, you get all of it. It's awesome. I just find it fun. Again, if you guys don't like it, I just wasn't expecting anything out of Call of Duty's campaign this year, which I normally don't because it's Call of Duty. But at the same time, I just jumped into it. What they're presenting me is freaking awesome. I was just having a great time. Like I said, I was supposed to go to bed early last night, man. I wound up staying up longer because I was just having a good time playing missions. So
right on,
that's all I care about. Fun.
Yeah, I've been playing more racing games today. Like I just the GT7 update came out, and so I was checking that out. And
is GT the best again, man? Are you gonna kill?
No, no. Forza's still way better, but I have started.
Yeah,
to
you just we got to kill it though.
I have started to appreciate GT7 more again, though. Like just in general, not more than Forza, but just more. I changed a lot of settings. I was talking about this a little bit last night. I changed a lot of settings, and realizing how much more there is that I haven't done or that I want to do in that game. So I've been having a blast with that. But I've been actually hopping back and forth. I've been playing more like 80% Forza, 90% Forza, but then kind of occasionally hopping back over into GT7. Except for today, I was playing more GT because of the new update that came out and stuff, right? So, but yeah, I've just been in racing games, and all these, I have this issue right now, dude. Like, so all these games that keep coming out, that I want all these different ones, but like for some reason, the one that's in the back of my brain that I want to get the most is WRC, the new racer from EA.
Love it.
It's you know, Codemasters is part of EA now, and it's kind of they made the Dirt series and stuff, so
it's their last WRC game too, correct? I think this is their last one.
I'm not sure. This is kind of
I'm
like
pretty sure
they reboot. Like the other ones also WRC other things, but this one is just called WRC.
WRC.
And I don't know if because it's Codemasters and stuff with EA, like how it's gonna be. Like I'm really looking for. It has good reviews too. It's like sitting at like an 84, you know, or whatever. And so it's and it's only $50. Yep. And with my Game Pass discount, it's 45, I think, or with the EA Play discount or whatever. So I might actually get it, dude. Might actually get it.
Cool.
We'll see. But yeah, man. It was a pretty big day today, guys. Pretty big day. BlizzCon. You know, we had a lot of speculation about what kind of show it would be. I think we hit the nail on the head for the most part of what kind of show it was. Like if you tuned into our stream earlier, we kind of broke it down. Like we think this is, you know, they're probably going to go over each of their franchises and talk about each one of those and stuff. There was a couple things we had some hopes for that could be there. Didn't end up getting any of that stuff. We got kind of the more easy to guess things like the Diablo expansion and stuff like that, right? But there was some, depending on what games you're a fan of, right? As a Blizzard fan, there are cool announcements in each one of these games for all those people. And my biggest takeaway, I will say, after watching BlizzCon today, was the level of intensity, excitement, and love that their fan base has for their franchises.
No joke.
It is like kind of on another level, dude. Like like the amount of like you could tell like 90% of the audience there was like hardcore World of Warcraft players, right? And this was, I think, the biggest stuff they had there was World of Warcraft news, and they brought out the I can't remember the Chris
Metzen.
Metzen, yeah.
Yes,
One of the original creators of World of Warcraft.
Talk
right?
about an impressive dude, by the way.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys. Like, I've never heard him speak because I've never been into WoW like that. So I'm not a part of that fan base. But listening to him to speak today, I can see why people talk about with him with reverence, man. And he holds the audience, right? He is a great speaker. And dude, to have him back,
for Azeroth,
right, for the whore. But to have him back leading that massive franchise and to do what they did today, which I'm sure you're getting to here, Mav, right after Xbox acquires them officially, that's a huge W.
I agree. Because you want these franchises to like re-cement themselves as like, hey, these are all in a good place and going in a good direction. Right. And that's what Microsoft and Xbox want to see as well. Right. So the World of Warcraft audience seemed extremely happy today. I even saw Jez, who's a big World of Warcraft player. You know, he was like, fuck, you know, he was super into it. And some really cool
slight
stuff.
mobile presence. Just a little bit. That's pretty cool.
Mobile. Yeah. There's a lot of mobile stuff there. Yeah. There's Rumble, Hearthstone. Yeah. I mean, that's
it's huge.
One of the reasons Microsoft got. And when you think about mobile, we all thought King, you know what I mean? But like Blizzard and Activision with Call of Duty mobiles, they got a huge footprint there. Even that Warcraft Rumble game's been trending on iOS and Android as well. So they got games, man. They got games that have large player bases that keep playing them and really look forward to every little bit of news that comes out. And it's crazy seeing a show like this, knowing that this is Xbox. This is the Xbox ecosystem now.
They made that very apparent today too.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's start off with this because one of the things we had speculated and we've talked about it. Do we think that Phil would show up potentially? And or do we think that, you know, they're going to mention Xbox or anything like that, right? Well, not only did Mike Ibarra mention Xbox, right, but also Phil Spencer actually showed up right at the intro of the show with Mike Ibarra actually, you know, saying, hey, my friend Phil wants to say something, you know, and it's like he comes out on stage and it's kind of like, okay. They are
first time ever at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
First time ever for Phil. Yep.
They are cementing this, you know, acquisition here, like making it clear, like this is Xbox here. And I thought honestly it was a little bold. Not in a bad way.
No.
Bold in a good way. Did you have any thoughts on that, Paul? We were all there. Yeah. So like just reaction to Phil actually showing up.
Perfect, Phil. Talk about Phil being back in his bag again. We talked about this after the some of the initial interviews after the acquisition happened. They officially announced it and he did those interviews. You could just see the old Phil back. And when he walked on that stage, he had an extra skip to his step. The first time he's ever shown up at BlizzCon. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I did when the Rangers won the World Series.
Yes.
Like it was like the same
walk
feeling.
up to the screen.
Yeah.
Yep. And I literally pumped my fist at my desk when Phil walked out because I knew this was going to happen. And I had a feeling they were going to make a big deal out of it. Phil's first time at BlizzCon, he's walking out now as you know, CEO of Microsoft Gaming, which now owns Blizzard. And he did what Phil does. He reads the room. He's a gamer at heart. He talked about how much he plays Diablo. He talks about his love for the franchises that Blizzard has and how Xbox is just going to make it better for everyone. And that's their job, is to let Blizzard go create the games that everybody wants to see happen. And he did the classic Phil speech. Again, we've all heard it to some varying forms depending on where he's at, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't make it any less effective when he's got a captivated audience, a room full of Blizzard diehards who have been through the ups and downs with Blizzard's under Activision when they merged with Activision, some recent downs, in fact. And now you're there saying, no, we are bringing Blizzard back to where they were. We're going to give them all the resources, power that they need to do that. And he just played up to that audience, and the audience kept cheering for him. Everything he was talking about, And the other thing, Mav, even though we didn't get the announcement that we thought would have been appropriate today for StarCraft, he mentioned StarCraft multiple times. That is absolutely 100% happening. So I was super excited about that. But overall, Phil just made the presence known, but didn't make it corporate, because Phil's not that way. He doesn't. That's like Jim Ryan could never do one of these because he would make it a corporate thing. Phil walks out there as a gamer. Yes, he's got a big title. Yes, he's in charge of now what is a gigantic publisher. It doesn't matter. When he talks, you hear the passion for the games and the people who make the games and the fans, the people who play those games. You hear that. You don't hear business. You hear him saying, we're going to help Blizzard give you guys more and better games. That's what we're going to do for everybody in this room. And everybody just ate it up and loved it, which again, we all know. I mean, that's what Phil does best. So absolutely love to see it. Love to see them cement Xbox immediately at this huge, huge show for one of the biggest fan bases in the world in Blizzard fans, and a show that hasn't had a live audience in 4 years, whatever it's been. This was a perfect moment for all of that to kind of come together. Loved it.
Yeah.
Man.
Their live stream was hitting like 200K at one point. It was going up and up. I lost it because I went full screen. I didn't see what was the peak concurrent number, but wow. What a contrast.
I think people don't understand how big Blizzard actually is, like in the gaming community. A lot of people don't understand, like, they're fucking huge.
Yeah. And while I was watching Phil come up on the stage, I was just thinking in the back of my head, what a contrast to the video game awards when he was really down and you could see it in his face. Didn't want to be there. The deal was just blocked. A lot of people were on the other side. PlayStation side was like celebrating, and what a down moment for Xbox, to now where he's skipping on the stage and excited. And what actually surprised me out of that interaction wasn't necessarily Phil being there, but the audience too, because they're just Blizzard fans. A lot of them there just love World of Warcraft, Diablo, all these different games, and now Xbox is acquiring them, so it's like important to them as well, like the hardcore Blizzard fans, and to see them kind of praise Phil, like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Sort of reading the room, that was actually a special moment. Like,
because it could have been like dead silence.
It could have just been like, oh shoot, Phil, you're gonna mess up my like they could have went either way, but I think the way Phil, like you said, Pong, the way he kind of read the room and wasn't corporate about it, and kind of just, it was about the games, and that's what it was. So I actually really liked that that moment. Just rewatching it, I was like, wow, yeah.
And the shake of the hands with Ybarra too was very significant up on stage. And I just think overall that audience, like I said, being through the ups and downs with Activision owning them and Bobby Kotick, what a change to have Phil up there representing like the ownership group instead of like a Bobby Kotick, and hearing all the stuff behind the scenes of what went down in all these different dev studios and stuff, and how they were forced to do all this stuff, and World of Warcraft went through its lowest time. I think that not only are the Blizzard devs and the studios and the Activision studios feeling some fresh air just flow in after this acquisition, I think the fans obviously share that sentiment that they don't see Xbox as a negative buying them. They see it as an opportunity and something to change. And that's what happened.
That was my surprise when Phil actually came out, and the applause that he did get, because like knowing the Blizzard audience, like they don't really like interact with Xbox like community as much, so they're kind of their own little community, and they just kind of stick there, even though it's a big community. So it's like nice to see that they actually know who Phil is and what he can do for them.
That's a good point. I want to ask Fuzzy about this, because I think you made a good point, Pong, and Jasper following up on that. But like, in a way, because there was a moment also, right? When Mike Ibarra started talking about the employees, he kind of got like choked up a little bit, and he couldn't speak because, it was like, and I think part of this is Blizzard has had a really rough few years, right? I mean, they have been in the news time and time again about, scandals, and there's been like unions formed. There's been protesting. There's been all these different things, right? And all along,
boycotts.
they've been under the thumb of Activision, really, because Bobby Kotick was the Activision CEO, president, whatever, and they had acquired Blizzard years ago, and kind of merged, became Activision Blizzard at the time. But really, it was kind of ran by the philosophies and everything of Activision, right?
They had their projections to meet for Activision company as a whole, and they have to
monetize
change their
everything.
games and monetize
And
it. For
and Bobby Kotick being the sleaze ball that he is, even though he's been a good businessman in the past and all that kind of stuff, like it's still, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that has been one of the biggest down moments for them the last few years. Now they've been on the uptick, obviously, this year because they had some releases, they had some really good momentum and all this kind of stuff now, and they finally getting stuff on track. And because Blizzard's always kind of been this like up and down studio where they get in development rut, and then they finally get these games out and they're amazing, and then it's like they're on a high. We're kind of seeing that swing now this year, and I think all of their franchises go through some of this stuff. But Fuzz, do you think that moment with Mike Ibarra and this energy of being in front of this audience that was so energetic and happy to be there after 4 years of not having a BlizzCon, knowing that they have Blizzard kind of in a way, I mean, it's still part of ABK is together, right? But still, they're not beholden to just the decisions now of Activision or whatever. It's more of like Microsoft, and like these guys are saying, it's Phil Spencer, you know what I mean, who is like known as a nice guy, like type positive influence on the industry. Like, is that moment probably from this, like, hey, we've got through it, this is our time now, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I think the biggest thing is there was a point where people were talking about boycotting WoW and a few other Blizzard-based games because of the controversy.
People deleted their accounts. They had a whole thing where people were
Diablo
going through
2.
and deleting all their accounts like a couple years ago.
Yeah, so to have people show up with that level of enthusiasm at this show after not having a in-person show for 3 or 4 years is huge, and to have the fans still be at your side or at your back as far as encouraged over your games, praising some of the stuff, and giving you honest feedback when they tend to screw up and stuff. But I think all of that just culminates into the emotion he showed on stage, realizing, okay, they've made it through that tunnel of hell or whatever they want to call it, those past few years under Bobby and all the stuff that came along with that, to now at least having, some light at that end of that tunnel as far as the extra financing that they'll be able to secure without having to, monetize the heck out of every last thing. Not saying that they will completely do away with monetization, but it won't be as much of a pressure point. The pressure point will be more so, can we get all of the creative ideas within this game within a reasonable amount of time? I think they'll be left at their own vices as far as being able to kind of, make the games that the fans want to play and continue to play without it having like that extra carrot at the end that they have to, we have to meet this goal. We have to, meet this quarter projections and things like that. Like, you see one of the studios that broke off from Activision is having its own, financial woes as far as predictions and forecasts and whatnot. So that, I wouldn't say that pressure is completely gone, but it's not the cloud that it was before. The under Microsoft, that even though there were some, pink slips before the whole acquisition, whatever bad actors that may still be amongst those walls will more than likely be flushed out as well. So I think there's just a number of things. It's almost like basically a perfect storm. You now have new management. You now have more leeway. You have more
money to develop things.
Yeah, exactly. You have an actual backing that isn't relying on Call of Duty, bringing in this revenue. You now have potentially a system model that will help with some of the mobile games as far as getting across to more players, or grouping it where there will be a larger player base, even possibly funneled into those games, just for ease of access, or future endeavors with like a mobile game pass, let's say. But I think it goes to show these past 20 months or however long it took to clear the ABK deal, it's that sigh of relief now. That chip is off their shoulder. Moving forward, the future is bright, and they can focus at what they're best at, and that's making awesome games. And I think all of that came to a head at that on the stage, and the fans cheered it on, and now realize that Blizzard's on its way back. So,
and I think that also, that not only just all the stuff you said, Fuzz, which is absolutely 1000% correct, but also the talent coming back. And I'm in speculation town here, but I think that Metzen came back. I think Ybarra got him off the couch, because Metzen was legit retired. He wasn't one of those dudes who went and did something else. He retired. But I think one of the reasons why he returned is because he knew this acquisition was going through. And I think it's a breath of fresh air for everybody involved, including former talent that may have left at some point. And with that stability now, with somebody like Metzen back in place over one of your biggest franchises, a franchise that, much like Halo, can have down times, but at any point can make a tremendous comeback. And not the fact that WoW was even close to where Halo Infinite was as far as down goes, but the fact is now you have Metzen back in place. People are going to want to come work for Blizzard again. And that's going to be another huge swing in the favor of what Xbox is trying to do here. And the Blizzard fans realized that. They knew that Metzen was back already because it came out in September that he was back. They were waiting for him to jump on stage. And I think that's all a part of this in one way or another. It's a dynamic shift in the feelings that were there over those past 3-5 years, whatever it's been, where Blizzard's had mostly downs in a lot of areas. So this is a huge moment. This is what Xbox, again, $70 billion. They said mobile was number one, PC was number two. Blizzard's your PC section. Blizzard is back on the upswing right now. And I think it's a huge thing for Xbox to get them at this point. It's gonna be massive.
I do wonder how BattleNet, how that's gonna start being integrated with Xbox Live and stuff. But yeah, I agree, Punk. I think that was him being on stage, them now being underneath the Xbox leadership means a lot. But I think for the foreseeable future, maybe a couple months, Xbox is just gonna watch and kind of see how these teams are working. I'm sure they don't want to mess up that DNA of some of these studios, but at the same time, they're going to want to like clean house with people like Kotick, the toxic nature, unionized.
Well, I think they already have
Raven.
that list of people who's leaving, probably.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's going to give him another one. That's what
I'm sure
provided one.
People have some ideas of who should go, right? But they don't need to be that just profit Call of Duty monster anymore. I'm sure they are going to want some ROI for sure. Why not? But at the same time, they are not under the same pressure that they used to be in. And that's what I'm kind of excited to see with Blizzard. Like, just me watching the event, that was something I kind of was thinking in the back of my mind, like, wow, they're now underneath Xbox. I wonder how that's going to shift either what games they'll even bring up. Like, let's say a developer has been holding a game for quite some time, they'll be like more obliged.
I think the big
thing
that you get out of Blizzard, like this is like 5-10 years down the line, is you have games that they make purely for their creative design that they want to do, and they're not forced to do it. With like Overwatch and loot boxes and microtransactions, like Blizzard probably wouldn't have done that if they didn't have to. Same for like Diablo skins. They probably wouldn't put Diablo skins in there if they didn't have to, but they were under that gun of Activision's like, you got to make $4.5 billion this year. How are you going to do that? Blizzard seems like the studio that's like, we just want to make a game that we like and that you can care about it. So, like that's what they want to do.
That's what the culture feels like. But there's stuff around them that feels like that. But you have to do this. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still think you're going to get all those skins and all that stuff, and then the games.
Yeah,
right? Like
it may just be slightly downhill on that.
People
Not,
are
like,
complaining about Halo's, prices right now, too, on some of their microtransactions, but like.
Well, that's because they gave a stupid ass reason for people to actually bitch about it.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, like that's just where the industry is. That's where like a lot of these games are made. That's why like Overwatch went free to play. That's why a lot of these games have those models. And but like at the end of the day, like to that point though, like Blizzard is one of the best live service game developers out there. I mean, they have ongoing established communities that play their games every day for over a decade now for some of these franchises. And like Diablo 3 really kind of got it going. Diablo 4 is taking it to another level there. Overwatch started that, and the Overwatch 2 is taking it to another level with it going the direction it went. And a World of Warcraft is, MMO that's got its own subscription, and its player base kind of dwindled down to lower levels at one point, and now then it started coming back again. And there may be more hype from that community than ever before right now as well.
They just got this next 6-7 years laid out for them, Mav, which hasn't happened in a long time, right? They just got that with the new expansions. 3
and it seems to be a place that they wanted to go with the game too.
Yes,
the fans wanted to go with it at least.
Yes, and Metzen knows those fans better than anybody. He is one of the people don't understand who Metzen is. He's one of those hidden big, like, except for Blizzard fans. Blizzard fans know who he is, but a lot of the game industry doesn't. He's one of those superstars you just don't hear about. He co-founded Blizzard, and then was one of the probably the main brain behind World of Warcraft. Like, that's stupid creative, right? This dude has that swagger about him, and he gets what his fans want. And that's the other thing I just want to bring up real quick, Mav. From Ybarra, the minute he took the stage, he even used one of Phil's lines. Yeah, the fans are the center of everything we do.
I thought the same thing. I saw you in the chat pointed out. I was like, we're on the same wavelength,
bro.
It sounds like Phil, yeah.
And then from then on, every single one of those high-level production teams that stepped on stage to talk about their game, they talked about the community feedback and how they're shaping their games. And they're not just talking the talk, as we saw with Diablo. We saw with even the Overwatch 2 team today, poo-poo Overwatch 2, it's still being played. But they came out and talked about how the fans are creating these games now. And that was through and through this entire BlizzCon, was you guys are shaping the games. We are listening to you. We are changing what we do based upon your feedback. That is another massive dynamic shift within where they were, whatever you want to say, 3 to 5 years ago, where it seemed like they were closing off from the community. Community was up. A lot of their communities were all up in arms. What are you guys doing? What is going on here? It seemed like that Blizzard or that Activision kind of toxicity was seeping in, because there was a lot of shit going on behind the scenes that we found out about. And it seemed to be really closing them up. Now, again, the windows are all open. They've already started spring cleaning. Everybody's got an extra skip in their step, and they're talking to the fans again. And I think that's huge for this community. And again, as Jasper said, nobody realizes how big the Blizzard community actually is unless you were a part of it, and what that could mean for the future and what they can do down the road. Sky's the limit here. Again, for a company that's already set the bar in a lot of ways. And Mav, we got to point out, their animation teams expand that group. Their animation team is simply phenomenal.
World of Warcraft cinematic. I was like, is that
they've been
is that a real person or is it not a real person?
Yes.
I couldn't tell sometimes.
And even the Overwatch stuff was like watching a TV show. I was like, I'm not even a big
Yeah.
Overwatch fan, but I would watch this as a TV show or
Yeah.
a movie. Like I was just so expand that team, Phil, as I've been saying, have them do your Xbox cinematics too. Build out
God.
that talent in that team. They are second to none in this industry.
I used to think
Absolutely.
Blur was the best, and
Yes.
I do think Blur is amazing. They're one of the best out there, period. But like, I mean, that Blizzard team is pretty fucking phenomenal, man. Like,
Yes.
God,
man.
yeah,
So good.
If you want to watch Overwatch stuff, they do like
Yeah.
every time they do a new character, they usually have like a
Yes.
7-minute like trailer video
Mhm.
background for them. So I would watch that stuff.
Cool, bro. It's
Yeah.
so cool. And that new character for Overwatch was freaking fantastic, bro. That Samoan dude, he was awesome. I love that whole cutscene that they had for him.
So you know, we kind of tune out a little bit during like the mobile segment when they're talking about like Warcraft Rumble and you know they talk about Hearthstone, which is PC and mobile as well. Like, but I think those games are freaking gonna be like Hearthstone's been massive for a long time, right?
Yes.
And Warcraft Rumble I think is gonna be pretty damn big, and then you also have Diablo Immortals out there and stuff like that as well. So mobile side alone, also Blizzard's no slouch there, man. I mean they got a lot of players. So
And Jez pointed out on Xbox too, it's first party stuff, man. It's not outsourced stuff. That's rare for mobile stuff. This is their first party stuff. And like you said, the mobile side is what's going to fund everything else. The mobile money is so much greater than all the other divisions that will fund all of Xbox's future consoles, hardware that they decide to do.
Well, you heard Rod Ferguson say 60% of the people that play
Yes.
Diablo Immortal never played Diablo.
Never played Diablo before. Bro,
Yeah.
mobile
That's
is
crazy.
just massive. And now this is why they said this was number one on the acquisition list was the mobile side of things. Because if they are going to take on Apple, Google, they now have the clout to do so. Their first parties now produce massive mobile games where people spend a whole lot of money and continue to play them. That is exactly what Xbox wanted out of this. Microsoft wanted out of this. Oh, God, bro, it's so cool to see happening. Everything we've been talking about for 2 years.
That they own the biggest AAA games, and now they also own the biggest mobile games out there.
They own some of the biggest games as a service out there. AAA games. It's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
and now I'm pretty sure where they're headed is their next battle is what is it? Google and Apple, right?
Google
Trying
and
to
Apple,
figure
the
out how to
store.
get their own store.
Yep.
And get that through. I think it's going through some regulation stuff right now, if I'm not mistaken. There was some case, like smaller cases about it. Basically need to start breaking down.
There was one that Apple actually won recently.
Okay.
But like I think that could keep going.
Yeah, a lot of it's just fighting like Apple on stuff.
Yeah.
Like Europe's fighting Apple on just different aspects of their phones and services.
Yeah, and Europe is winning some of them. From what I know,
yeah,
I'll research it.
Honestly, like it's some of it's going to come down from like the CMA and the FTC and these people making rules and starting to.
And
try
it's
and
good.
them,
I mean,
so
Apple's finally getting a USB-C cable, you know, and that's been interesting.
Yeah. So live service again. I kind of want to touch on this real quick. Just in contrast to think about this, because you know. You mentioned Google and Apple, but you know, from Xbox for the longest time, it's been Xbox, PlayStation, right?
Yep.
PlayStation just acquired Bungie to fix their games as service and get games as service going over there. And just the contrast after watching BlizzCon today and seeing everything going on with the games as service there, plus also the news from Grounded that happened yesterday from Xbox with that new modes coming there, plus also Halo Infinite's resurgence, and then all these other things going on with Xbox, all these other games of service, live service, multiplayer, ongoing games that they have, and then watching BlizzCon, you see all that, and it's like PlayStation bought Bungie, and right now Bungie's not in very good shape.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Bungie could come out tomorrow and turn it all around if they just actually listen to people and do what people are telling them to do, but they're just could be in Bungie. Like they could turn it around quickly.
It's just the disparity is so massive when you think about that. Those kind of games, platform to platform, it's really insane. Like, and especially if Xbox, like one of the things we thought could be an interesting announcement if they went ahead and did it. Like we thought it would be kind of early for them to make an announcement like this. But like with the Xbox Play Anywhere initiative, right? Announcing some of these games that aren't on console coming to console, right? They didn't do that yet, at least, right? So, but eventually, I think some of them might come over there as well. But we'll see, like maybe even just via the cloud or something, But like, I think that this just made it so much more apparent today, the disparity of multiplayer in live service games at in the stable of Microsoft and Xbox versus the console competitor in PlayStation is just absolutely fucking astronomical, bro. And
I mean, the big difference that you see is that Xbox and their studios now, even with ABK, they listen to the fans in the community. They take their feedback, they listen to it, and they try to incorporate that as much as they can to a business side, at least. And Sony doesn't listen to anyone but themselves.
But Sony.
They listen to their the
investors.
What do you call it? The investors and the ching sound from the registers when you buy products and stuff. Oh, we sold this many, so it's like cha-ching.
And then that's what the fan base in turn does, because when you look at the PlayStation community of what they usually celebrate, it's numbers. It's like sale numbers. It's never like oh wow, the game. It's always like, wow, we made it to 20 million this month, or if it, it's always sale numbers that they kind of
3-bit.
Yeah.
Just to say, that's a little weird that they do that. Like, they always celebrate sales numbers. They always celebrate, oh, we did this on NPD. It's like, okay, why aren't you celebrating the actual game instead of sales numbers? Why don't you celebrate the other aspects? Or, hey, shit's going down. Let's let's speak up and voice our opinions. But they don't. They're like, sales. But then it's whatever. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And like to Matt's point of it being like a contrast, it does feel like a contrast in a lot of ways, especially right now, which is why I'm surprised I'm not seeing articles, but I'm also not surprised that I'm not seeing articles. But Sony right now is it does feel like a huge contrast based on Xbox has finally acquired all these different studios, and maybe that's why it's hitting so hard, that they finally got Activision. That's been a long battle. And the hype is high right now for Xbox, and while the hype is high for Xbox, you have Sony, basically all these different studios are firing people. Bungie, which is supposed to be the one kind of studio to mentor other studios for Sony, we've seen what happened with Bungie burning down slowly. So I mean, I always thought, to me, when that whole thing went down, you guys could watch our reactions on it. I thought that Sony overpaid for Bungie. And when I was looking at the reasons for why Sony even paid that much, it was to maintain the staff that was there. It's like, okay, so you added an extra $1 billion to maintain the staff. I guess that's pretty cool. We're seeing how that's turning out. And then what I also thought was like, they bought them to kind of mentor how to do live service games. I also thought that was weird, to buy a whole studio to teach other studios how to do. I don't know. It was just it was weird to me to make a huge, like a $3 billion something purchase just so you could teach other studios how to do a live service game. Maybe that's just me, but I thought that was just an odd thing. And then if the rumors are true with Last of Us factions and stuff, with them kind of stepping in, it's just weird to me to imagine you're making Gears of War, and you're making the multiplayer and stuff like that. You're about to ship it, and then 343 is like, whoa, let us check what you got. It's like a whole other studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
That known for something else. Like Naughty Dog is known for they've made multiplayer in the past, but like
I think it depends on the studio if you ask for check-ins. Because if someone was saying, "Hey, let's 343," if the coalition comes in and say, "Hey, 343, can I check in on your shit?" They'll be like, "Yeah, let coalition check on."
I mean, it's a good idea.
It's just weird. I mean, I guess it's common around Microsoft, right? But it's more, it's not like a mandatory thing. It's like, hey, I won't say why because I work with Microsoft, but like other studios do check in on each other, but it's not like a mandatory thing. It's more of like hey, we want to share some tech type of thing. But in this scenario, if it's true, I'm not sure if that was ever verified or not. If Sony did step or if
I mean, it's been
Bungie stepped
reported
in,
from so many people in the industry
but
and
it's
games
probably
media
legit.
that like
Yeah.
have not ever made an article like, well, this actually may have not happened. Like they all ran with it like it's just a thing, like for sure thing. So,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't know if there's been like an interview with somebody that's completely confirmed it, but I think the inside sources and stuff were probably pretty concrete about it,
Gotcha.
especially with the fallout and everything that's happened since then, right?
Right.
Well, Sony never denied it either, because remember
Yeah.
when they talked about the sales of the PSVR 2, they went out and kind of half-assed denied it, but yeah, there was never a denial from Bungie or Sony in general. So
Yeah,
you would have
I
to
just-
believe that they would have said something.
Hey, they still got a month to show off that next level concept art that they showed off a year ago. So you never
Yeah.
know.
I knew the game. Like, why you keep showing concept art? Like, just don't show the game. Like, that was crazy to me that they kept showing like we're so excited to bring you factions, and people been waiting for like 2-3 years at that point, and you're like concept art, and you're like, bro. Like, I do not want to see concept art again. It's really sad as was kind of been happening in contrast, because I want Sony to compete at a level, and I was thinking that in my head the ABK deal would, and it's still possible, the ABK deal would push Sony to do things that aren't just not remakes and remasters, or like Spider-Man 2 is very much just,
Well, I mean, it is. It just
uh,
takes time for that their purchases
for
and their
sure.
acquisitions to actually manifest.
But
And
then I'm also talking about like adding multiplayer to a game. They wouldn't typically add multiplayer. Like, imagine like a Spider-Man having a co-op and stuff. I was hoping that Xbox's success would lead them to make more decisions like that, because they currently are relying
Well,
on
behind
their
the
old
scenes,
formula.
they did, except that they just did it all at once, and everything had to be a big multiplayer games of service game, right?
Yeah, which pissed people off.
And they just weren't prepared for it. Like at the end of the day, like, and they're kind of in this going to be in a sticky situation for a little while because of it. But like, it is kind of just, you know, this amount of successful ongoing franchises that Xbox has now is just insane. And another one is Diablo, right? So we actually got the first look at was it Vessel of Hatred? Is that what it was called?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The new expansion for Diablo 4 that has a new location. It's kind of like this jungle theme with like it has some like type Mayan type or pyramid in the video, and they did also say that there's a brand new class never before seen to the Diablo universe as well, right? That's pretty exciting for me. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see. And like Diablo 4 for me was kind of like a highlight because that's the game I care about most. But like that, if you just go and look at each one of these games, like they're each successful, they each have a long they have a long road ahead as well. They were talking about 30 fucking years. They mentioned that like for the next 30 years. I mean, they're looking at these games and these franchises like, you know, we're going to be supporting these things and these investing in these franchises for the long haul. And like, and part of that's because Microsoft is now involved.
Well, I mean, if you look at Bethesda, or not, I always do that. Blizzard games, they're like one of the only studios that have actually done successful 10-year game pluses.
Yeah.
Like fucking Diablo 3 came out in like 2008. We just got the new one this
Yeah.
year. So like Overwatch is about to be probably 10 years in the next few years. I think it came out in like 15 or 16, something like that. So a few more years on that. And Overwatch has been going for 20, or not Overwatch, fucking World of Warcraft's been going for 20 years. So it's like, they're one of the only companies that have actually done the 10-year game.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Hey, how's it going, Psycho? Man, sorry, you hopped in. I didn't even say hi to you yet. What's up, dude?
Oh, it's all good. Just enjoying some what is it? Star Ocean Second Story Bar or Second Story R.
Right on.
Been enjoying that. But yeah, what that today's BlizzCon was I liked it for the fact of the WoW stuff that they showed, and kind of it was really neat to see what was, I forget, Paul mentioned his name, Metzgar, is it Metzger? Metzen?
Yeah, Chris Metzen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to see that he's back, and he had some really good energy and was really getting the crowd going, and I mean it was great to see that for WoW fans.
Alvin hit us with a $2 super chat, said more upset, factions team or Destiny players. I don't know, man. Destiny players are pretty down right now.
There's probably more of them than the dev team. So
yeah, I'd say the dev team of factions, the people that were laid off, were probably more upset. But
I think if I was a head person over at Naughty Dog, I'd probably be fired now by this point. I would have walked into some head office at Sony and be like, hey,
why the fuck are they telling us what to do?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they can't even add, and our game's on hold. Seriously.
We've been with you for 20 fucking years. We've made you over billions of dollars, and these fuckers walk in and cancel our shit. Like,
yeah,
but man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Destiny players will be back for the final shape when it hits, and they'll probably
that's fucking 8 months down the road. People are gonna forget all about this Bungie shit that's going on right now.
Yeah,
probably.
I think they have to double down and make sure it's great now, and like, because if it's ass, or if it's like it hits the same as Lightfall did, like they're fucked. You know what I mean? Like they really gotta give all the goods in final shape, because that's gonna be their send off for that game. And I think it was you, Jasper, and whatever just talked about, like a lot of those Destiny players are gonna show up anyway, just because it's like the culmination of the story.
Yeah, it's like if like the Marvel movies pissed you off and you're like, I'm not gonna watch Endgame. It's like you're watching Endgame.
Yeah,
like
it's the culmination. You got to, right? Like there'd be some pretty bad shit to play a game for over a decade at that point and then not see how it ends. You know, like over the course of Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and yeah, I think they'll play it, but we'll see how Marathon hits. That's not a guarantee, you know. So we'll see. Like, does Sony have the stomach and to
honestly,
go through the hard times with a games of service?
I personally don't like extraction shooters like that much. I mean, I'm not even the biggest BR guy, but
do you
I think
that's chasing a trend just because there's one great successful game too much? You know,
that, and honestly, I don't think extraction shooters as big as people think they are.
The Call of Duty one didn't really do shit.
Yeah, really. It didn't take off. Like, there's been some other ones that haven't really taken off. The only one that's really been successful is Tarkov, and it's kind of been slightly kind of downhill as the last year. I just don't think extraction shooter is as big as people think they are. Like,
to me, the biggest extraction shooter is flailing in the background, and that's Division. That was your biggest extraction shooter without it being the sole purpose of the game. The biggest problem with Tarkov is they're still in beta. Like, they keep on doing resets.
80% of the people are hackers.
Yeah, I mean, well, they've kind of fixed it a little, but still, it's like you can't have a game still in beta where, oh, we're adding a new map. Oh, we got to optimize that map. Oh, well, we got to reset things. Oh, remember those keys that you got earlier in the season? Yeah, they're worthless now. Oh, you just got, ganked for your vest and your weapons? No problem. They're like $2 in the store now. It's like, you can't constantly have this reset thing. Like, at some point when they make it where it's like, all right, you can continue on and the stuff persists, then maybe I'll get into it. But I can't, like, my sons are into the whole, it'll reset in like 6 months, or, well, maybe this time it will be 3 months, or next time, last time it was 8 months. But
even when it comes out at full launch, I think they're going to keep resets, because I think that's what a lot of people like about that game is they can come back in 6 months and be like, well, it's a fresh start for everyone, so I'm not going to be down.
I just hate it. It'd be like all that grinding for, like, at least from a cosmetic standpoint. And that's the big thing. It's like you kill Tequila or whatever his name is. And it's like, you don't have any of his stuff anymore after you did 100+ raids and killed him. No.
Yeah.
I should at least be able to keep the sweatsuit or the helmet or something. No, screw that.
Thing with Sony is that they don't their track record. They don't wait around for a game to be good. You can see a lot of the stuff that they killed off when the numbers start dropping. It's like they want to keep that image of really high premium games, and in the end, they're chasing that dollar where they can bring in like a gas game that can do well. If it doesn't do well, they're gonna kill it off. That's their track record. That's what they're known for. And unfortunately, people are going to get into a game, and who knows in a year or two if it's even going to be around anymore. And that's what Sony does best.
And Sony has to learn, if they're going to do a games as a service, especially a free-to-play one, it can't be exclusively on PlayStation, because you're losing out on Xbox and PC. So you're automatically losing millions of potential players. So you're just going to have your Sony people play it, who are going to play it for a couple months. Then they're going to drop off. Then you're going to be paying devs to make content for a game that only 1,000 people are playing. So it's like Sony's not going to take the risk and back it long term. So they need to open that up to more platforms. And
they have to do day and date on PC to have any type of long stint, any legs to any game.
Yeah,
if they don't,
Helldivers 2 might be the best chance they have at a successful multiplayer game, honestly, like that they've had in a while. That comes out early next year, and it doesn't have a crazy expectations, crazy budget. They're kind of
not yet.
Seems like
just give it some time.
Well, what I'm saying is like they see that as like a smaller investment. So like when they launch that game, if it has some good success, they're gonna be happy with it. You know what I mean? Whereas like a massive game that they're promoting super heavy, that has this big new studio, all this stuff, and they're considering AAA, and they're have this like 10-year roadmap thing, all this kind of things, and like they fail early on, they're gonna be like, well, shit, is it gonna be worth keep investing in this? But like Helldivers 2 like doesn't need a lot of success to keep.
It's
growing,
also not not their big AAA budget. It's not like a Spider-Man budget level game. So like the return on investment of that game is going to be huge once they launch on
exactly.
PC.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's PC day and date as well as console, right? So, and like the studio made their first game. I liked it a lot. It was like a completely different kind of game, really. But Helldivers 1 was awesome. So, in a way, hopefully, maybe that game is successful for what it is, and they can kind of learn from that. You know what I mean? That's what my hope is anyway. So, I don't really have any faith in the other ones.
I just wish they would have went with like more of a Monster Hunter version of the, Horizon series instead of going for that Fortnite look. Like a Monster Hunter version with the graphic detail of the main story game, I think would have been a bigger success with their current fans, and maybe even, ones that they could attract to that platform. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, and Blizzard on the Xbox side has this other survival game that we don't know what it is yet, Project Odyssey, that we were hoping we were going to see today, but we didn't see it yet. So that's going to be another big one. Xbox also has the Monster Hunter type game from certain Affinity that they're working on. There's that Project Dragon game from IO Interactive as well.
Is the Monster Hunter one, is that the Xbox bad game, or is that just certain Affinity's game?
No, that's Microsoft published. Yeah.
I was thinking that Odyssey game. I mean, we kind of said it in the past stream, but I think it's exclusive, which is why it wasn't shown. That would be a damper to that audience, right at that moment.
Yeah,
possibly.
I mean, there's some. That's something. I don't know if you heard this earlier, Pong. We're talking about this, like the
no,
yeah, on the co-stream earlier, like when we had speculated about Odyssey being there, and like if Odyssey is going to end up being exclusive to Xbox and PC, right? Mm-hmm. And somebody in the chat had also brought up that maybe they held off showing that because if it is exclusive, it would have not necessarily sat well at that event. You know what I mean? And they would have held it off.
The thing is, they wouldn't have gave you a date and platform there anyway.
But they don't have to. Yeah, that's true. I get that. But like, if you're going to announce it and have the bigger impact and say it's exclusive at a premiere announcement, you would do that maybe at your own show, like
showcase next summer,
right? Like because it is exclusive, they say, hey, can
they
we
wouldn't want to
hold
do it
for-
at that show, which is what I was kind of saying. I don't know.
Can we hold it off?
I could be
for
wrong.
Our own show. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
A lot of people thought there was going to be showing today, so it wasn't just us speculating. There was a lot of people, Jez included, right? Jez thought it was closer to being ready, and really thought it was going to be here.
There's
And
articles that said they thought that some people thought the game couldn't even come out this year.
I saw that too. But Rand and him were speculating today that, and Rand's thought is, because Jez has said from the beginning he thinks it's going to be multi-plat, because it's been so close to being done, that they've been working on it for a long time. So he thinks it's going to remain multi-plat. Rand took the opposite side, just to take the opposite side of Jez, but Rand did say today that he said that this could signal that Xbox is holding that back for their showcase next summer, their E3 show, whatever you want to call it, and that would be a perfect stage for it, and that gives more validity to the fact that it could be exclusive. And Jez did agree with him. Jez said ultimately he does believe it's going to be multi-plat still, but he said that this today, it not being there, definitely could lend credence that they are holding that game back for an Xbox show. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to see, for sure, because that's a new IP. It doesn't have a home anywhere right now. It never has had a home. And we've already seen with their other acquisitions that new IP are exclusive. So, and they don't have to now with the agreements in place, the acquisition done.
Yeah, they can play it in the cloud, right?
They can do anything they want to do with these active or with the Blizzard titles, right? Because part of the original deal that they offered, Jim, was for all the Activision games, right? And all that kind of stuff. So now that's off the table. They get Call of Duty and that's it. So I think that definitely is a possibility, because again, it depends what type of game it is, because I am in the camp that says if you are going to make an MMO or that style of game that does require a large audience, that it would make a lot of sense to make it multi-plat no matter what at the end of the day, because money wise, it's going to be, it gives you a greater chance of success. But that certainly could not be, Xbox's thinking or Phil's thinking, and he could say, no, we want it.
I just don't think that Xbox has been in Blizzard's pocket enough for enough time to actually make that change yet. And if they were, like, I don't think they would have. First of all, Blizzard's going to want to announce their own game at their own show. They always have, and I don't think that's going to change. They're going to do their, like,
it's not their decision anymore. That's left the window like a while. It's not up to them.
There have been instances we've heard before after the fact of like literally trailers being pulled from an E3 showcase right before the show, right? Yes. So like the thought process of like them not being able to get them to not show a trailer, I'll completely disagree with that, because it happened with Elden Ring at an Xbox with the Xbox.
Personally, I'm just saying,
well.
I see it.
Yeah.
Blizzard announces their own fucking game, whether that's just title card. They don't have to do trailer,
but they already announced it.
Well, official announcement, because it's just codename Odyssey, right?
But no, it was an official announcement that they made because they were using it as a tool to hire some people, right? So they did announce Odyssey because they showed it off themselves with the artwork.
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking about like the title card, like Odyssey, whatever it's called.
Trailer.
Blizzard will probably have that trailer or cinematic or whatever, and then Xbox will have their E3 version of it where it's gameplay or longer cinematic with date. Blizzard's going to get the title card announcement. At least.
Let me ask you, Jasper. They make again, forgive me because I obviously followed Blizzard, but I haven't followed them that closely. How many games have they announced outside of BlizzCon? Brand new IP.
I don't think they've announced anything outside of BlizzCon.
Just right. So you think they're going to wait until next year to announce Odyssey? All the way to BlizzCon next year?
Yeah. It's not going to be
supposedly closer. The game's supposedly closer than that for launch.
So
then what do you do?
Shadow drop it at BlizzCon.
That's where it gets me. Like when I was when they didn't show the survival game, I'm just like, huh. Like to me, everyone's saying it's closer, and I'm just like,
and
to me,
I would say like
an Xbox decision.
People were saying it's close, but like Matt was reading that article back from April, was saying it could have come out like before the deal closed. So like if our information's back from April, like stuff could have changed by then. Like it could have got internal delayed.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
something.
or exclusivity deal could have been made, right? They could have came in and said
Yeah.
it's ours.
Like
now.
remember with the
Just saying.
documents with it just reminds me of Indiana Jones, right?
Mhm.
With that whole thing. As soon as they were able to, they're like, stop development on other consoles, Xbox exclusive, like especially with who's in charge of Activision Blizzard now?
Well,
Isn't it
currently
technically-
Kotick right
I would,
now.
I would
It's still
yeah.
also I would
Okay.
point to that, like even look at Quake 2 remastered this year. That wasn't an Xbox show. They just did it at QuakeCon.
Yeah,
That's a
but
remaster.
I think
That's
it
not
may
a
have been
brand new
timing
AAA.
more so
Yeah,
than anything.
That's a little
that's
different.
a little like gift to the audience. You know what I
But,
mean?
I mean, you
Like,
could have put that at E3. It was only 2 months later that it was fucking dropped. You'd be like, yeah, we got Quake coming out. Here's a 30-second trailer for it at E3.
yeah, but they held it for the QuakeCon, like because it's
Yeah.
just another little extra thing for the fans of the franchise. Like this is a big deal announcement.
We're gonna
when this
find out.
game's-
We're
yeah.
gonna find out. It's
Like, I
gonna
mean,
be-
announcing a brand new huge franchise made by Blizzard is on another level to like a Quake 2 remaster. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna see the next Doom announced at a QuakeCon. I think we're gonna
No.
see the next Doom announced at an Xbox showcase, right?
I just think that Blizzard does title card and then the Xbox gets their E3 additional trailer. Like,
so you're thinking 2025 then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Guess we'll see.
Find out. Yep.
Yep.
We'll see.
We'll see. It is interesting though, because again, I thought it would be shown here. Based on what other people are saying, Jasper might be right. It could have gotten eternal delay. However,
I mean, we've had that
feel-
concept art for over a year now, at least.
Yeah,
Like,
but Jasper's completely wrong. And
Yeah,
and I'll
but
tell you
I
why.
think-
the only
yeah, go
reason
ahead.
why is because Xbox now owns Activision fucking Blizzard.
Yeah, they're not
It's
separate.
like this is if you spend $70 million on Activision Blizzard and you have your big summer showcase that you have every year, you are going to take advantage of that for your showcase.
here's another example that this is a Blizzard example. Overwatch. It was actually Project Titan. It was like an MMO or something like that. And that got delayed and they changed it to Overwatch. So who knows? This game could be changed to something else. This is Blizzard's back end. They've been working on this before Xbox was even involved. They could have fucking reworked this whole goddamn project.
But you're missing the point. That doesn't invalidate what Mav just said, Jasper.
Yeah.
You could be correct, but that still doesn't mean then Xbox just doesn't push back its reveal to a different showcase as well for them. I think Mav's point and our point is that they are now owned. What Blizzard
Yeah,
used
I
to
get what
do,
you're saying.
you know what I'm
It's
saying?
just-
What Microsoft and Xbox are going to take advantage of exclusive. If this turns out to be an exclusive game,
Even
They
if
are
it's
going
not,
to
I
put-
think they could have still held it back
Sure.
for their own show.
sure,
Right.
they certainly could have, but they're going to give it the most impact for their ecosystem. Not for Blizzard's fan base, not for BlizzCon, not for any of that. They're going to use it for their ecosystem. And the biggest impact is going to be at your showcase, right? That's where you're going to, again, establish this is our IP, right? This is now our IP. And this is where you come to get it is through our ecosystem, not at
I don't
BlizzCon,
think
but at
this
the
is
showcase.
the audience to do it either, Pong. Like that's what I was thinking. Like when I was watching the show of the people who are coming to see what Blizzard is essentially up to, and you're reading the audience. Like Phil is really good at reading the audience and what's coming up.
I
for
just think
Blizzard.
that
I just don't
Blizzard
see-
fans think that that's a fuck you if they take that and put it on Xbox show. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I think they would think it's F you if it was at this show and then it's announced as an exclusive.
Well,
Yeah.
but they look at it from
More
Blizzard
of a-
fans, right? Like, okay, the BlizzCon's in November, right? Xbox Showcase is in June, right? So you have the big announcement reveal at the Xbox Showcase, and then you get to have the deep dive and stuff like that in November. You know what I mean? Like, you have that to look forward to as well.
And
Like,
it might
as a-
actually be physically released by that point.
as a Blizzard fan now, if you're just a Blizzard fan, I'm going to make sure I tune into the Xbox Showcase. Beforehand, you could just wait for BlizzCon. Now, whether you're a Call of Duty fan for Activision, or you're a fucking Crash Bandicoot fan, or you're a Blizzard fan, whatever hardcore franchise you're a fan of, you're going to want to tune into the Xbox Showcase because your favorite game might have some news there. You know what I mean? Because they are now owned by there. And we already saw ties with Diablo at the last 2 Xbox showcases. Like Diablo IV was there at both of them. Even if it was revealed at other events, like the marketing deal that they had was the biggest trailers for Diablo were shown at the Xbox Showcase. They didn't hold off or anything to show at any kind of, well, I guess they didn't have BlizzCon the last couple of years also, right? But you know, I foresee Xbox taking advantage of this to draw hype at their big shows. Now, there's still going to be announcements always made at BlizzCon and stuff like that, but like big brand new games and stuff like that, you're going to see at shows like Xbox Showcase. You're going to see maybe even the Game Awards. That's another possibility because that has an even larger audience, right? And if Xbox has a spot, you know, that they pay for there, or they want to show something at the Game Awards, I don't know how it works, but like that would hit home really heavy too. And that would be a place to announce an exclusive for Xbox also at the Game Awards. That, I mean, imagine that would even hit harder potentially than at the Xbox Showcase, because you're rubbing it in the face of all the PlayStation fans and the Nintendo gamers and everything. Hey, if you want to play this brand new game from Blizzard,
but
you gotta go
that same argument could be
Xbox.
said that, like, why wouldn't you show that at Blizzard show? Because Blizzard show probably had more viewers than Xbox Showcase.
Because
Let's
the
just be
Blizzard
honest.
players are all on PC anyway. There,
But that's my point. It's like you had more people watching Blizzard show. So if you want to be like, you want to
Then
play
the
this on
Game
Xbox,
Awards?
you
200.
no. I'm saying then Xbox's show. Like I'm saying, Blizzard show today probably had more like viewers than the Xbox E3 showcase. So
No.
my point is like,
Mm-mm.
you would put an Xbox reveal at Blizzard showcase, be like, get all the fans that aren't in the Xbox ecosystem to come and be like, hey, check us out.
I
We're
have
in our
my
ecosystem.
doubts that
They're gonna be playing on PC
BlizzCon has
anyway.
more than Xbox's E3. I am almost certain it doesn't. There might be more PC fans there, but overall, I don't think you have more views at
all the
BlizzCon than
people
Xbox.
there in the audience there at BlizzCon are playing on PC anyway. They're just going to play the games on PC. You know what I mean? They're like, you want to talk to the PlayStation audience right now, right? You want to say, hey, PlayStation guys, this new big huge title from Blizzard that's coming to console is only coming to our console and PC, right? Like, that's how I would market it anyway. Like, and we kind of know they're cutthroat behind the scenes, like from these emails and stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, they've been pretty savage.
So with Sarah Bond is the president of Xbox. That's her new title, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other guy's name? Matt Booty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is his job just Activision Blizzard, or just basically all the other
No,
studios?
Xbox Game Studios
Xbox Game
And-
Studios.
and
all
ZeniMax.
content as far as gaming.
Does that doesn't include Activision Blizzard, or
No,
At the moment, no.
at the moment? No. Okay. So when Kotick leaves, who's going to write that?
that's
What we don't know.
That's what
Yeah.
the discussion has been.
Mike
Who
Ibarra.
takes over.
Mike Ibarra.
Gotcha.
Right.
After
I think
seeing
it's
that
Ibarra.
today, I'm more cemented on Mike Ibarra. I think, you know,
Yeah.
forward facing to the audience as well as the head of ABK, like you put that guy there. You know,
I was just wondering, just because like what Matt Booty, like his emails and stuff behind the scenes of like, we need to have some exclusives and stuff like that. And I was just thinking about the email, like Indiana Jones and all this different stuff. And if he was in charge, that game is being pulled, and it definitely going to be if it could be exclusive. Like that's kind of what I was thinking about. But yeah, I mean, it's underneath Xbox now in terms of strategy and stuff. I'm sure they're all thinking about how can we have so many studios, how can we start leveraging this content. And you think about their E3 shows right now, it's Xbox, it's Activision, or it's Xbox, Bethesda show.
Mhm.
What is it going to be now? Like, can they add in Xbox, Activision, Bethesda show? Like, they have so many studios, they could do that.
They could be their own E3.
They could be literally their own E3, have a weekend of just their games. So with that power of having that many studios, you're probably
Comes
going
great
to change some
responsibility.
great responsibility of when you showcase certain things. When you're, even if a game is ready, I would try and position what you want to do with those games. And I mean, to be fair, when I was working on the dev showcase, they've had a lot of those conversations, like what games should be showed, how should it be shown. That was like a big thing when I was on the team of making the dev showcases. One of the biggest conversations that we had is, how do we show the game, or should we show the game at all? Like, that was actually a conversation that we had, and we chose the limited format, and I'm glad they did. Ended up being one of my favorite shows for sure. And I mean, we've seen this year with her, I can't remember her name with the team, but with the partner showcase, great pacing and great show. I'm sure they're discussing with that team how to go forward with having all these studios. Like, how do you market your next few showcases with all these studios? Like, you have your own E3 now. How are you going to position that? Like, if they had a few games at BlizzCon that they were thinking about making exclusive, you own them now. So I can see them pulling the plug even if it was the last minute or whatever. They've owned them for maybe a couple of weeks now. That's enough time to make a decision to possibly be like, hey, I know this game, you were thinking about showing this game, but we might have some plans that might be good for Game Pass in the future. And we want to amp up Game Pass. Now with what Jasper is saying, like, yeah, it makes sense to show it at their fan show, but I think what they would want to do is kind of start having people consider Activision Blizzard Xbox now. And that will take time.
Okay, I got a question. So if
Yeah.
they're making it exclusive or whatever, Blizzard and Activision weren't supposed to act on any like type of decision that they were supposed to act like if they weren't going to get bought up into this year or whatever. So their plans were probably to make it a multiplayer before Xbox bought them or whatever. So they're just going to come in and now change it to exclusive like 2 weeks. And
Yeah,
be like, okay,
Starfield.
we got it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, there's a big factor since the takeover that they would have to resolve, even with it being a release that was already planned. They have to figure out the whole BattleNet situation. So that, if anything, is probably the biggest reason for a delay, because you don't want to release another
that's what I was going
game.
to get to is it's going to probably cause that to get delayed if you're going to go in and make those decisions in 2 weeks from now. Like,
yeah. But I totally would see that. Like, you can make last minute decisions to pull something, even though you're not supposed to make business changing decisions prior to the actual ink being dry. That it doesn't take but 24 hours to say, pull it. All right, we didn't make a post yet on the schedule. We didn't commit to the certification for XYZ platform. So okay. And it's done. It doesn't take that long from show phase to release phase. They definitely have plenty of time to say.
that was my point. So if they did come in and say we're making exclusive, it's probably going to cause that game to get delayed a little bit.
But why?
Because you're going to change design decisions, back end design decisions, and they're going to have to go in and.
But if they
pull some stuff,
but it doesn't have an
integrating
yet, so
BattleNet.
Is it delayed eternally? Maybe
Internally,
but like
that's what I'm saying.
not forward facing to the fans, so it doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's a business decision for them what they want to do with it, right? And like, we know that they made Bethesda put Starfield exclusive.
Yeah.
Like, and if they don't, and we know the mentality that they have with the emails that were leaked, and if they don't have to put something, then maybe they won't. Like, now, if they think it's just for the best, like as Pong was saying earlier, like for that game, I guess that's what Jez was saying potentially as well. Like, then maybe that's the case, because maybe if it's best for that game, it's best for that game, right?
And
but
it could be
don't know.
multi-plat, man. It could be. I just think they would want to hold it for their show. But it also could be exclusive. I'm just saying, like, it's their decision now. They could kind
Was
of
it ever announced for console at all? Or would it
I
just
think
be
they
like
did
It was,
announce
yeah.
platforms.
It's coming to console, yeah. But they didn't say what platforms. They just said coming to console and PC, I think.
Yeah. I think they said console and PC or something.
We got a couple super chats to get to. Spartan 661 with the $5 said Xbox has yet to announce any remake remaster games this generation. The leak from Microsoft isn't in stone. Things can and will change through time. Which leak?
I mean, you got Age 2, Age 4, Quake 2.
Yeah. Also, Skyrim Anniversary.
Skyrim, yeah.
But it does hit.
But at least those are more than 3 years old.
Those are old games, except for, well, even Skyrim's old game. Like, so, like, it's different when you remaster a 10-year plus old game, you know? And
let's
then
remaster Forza.
Also, those games are in Game Pass too, so it's, you know. And also, you got free update for Skyrim, unless you wanted the extra DLC. So it's different to me, like, than, hey, 3-year-old game, you know, buy it again.
That's what I was just making.
Yeah,
freaking PlayStation.
Game Shark with the 5 says, all love, Jasper, but you need to understand Blizzard is Xbox and vice versa. You're playing semantics. Jasper.
No, I think he just has a different view.
Yeah,
like, I agree with somewhat what Jasper is saying, but I'm also just like, since I don't know, I think now that they are Xbox, they're gonna make some.
I think the exclusivity thing is, like, really just not even the most important part of the conversation, though. Like, for me, it's about, can Xbox, or would they have potentially caused Blizzard to pull that announcement from the show?
Yeah,
right?
I don't even think exclusivity, like, even if it was or wasn't, that's not what pulled it from the show.
Well,
it did get pulled.
It could have, but, like, what for me is what I'm saying is, like, Xbox, if they wanted it pulled from the show, they could, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying that I don't think exclusivity isn't going to be the reason that it was pulled.
It could be, but it's not necessarily. It could be. Well, I think
it would just piss people. Like, I think it could be, like, because if you're making it an exclusive and you show it at that show, I don't know. I feel like, again, it would overshadow all the other stuff that was there, like all the World of Warcraft expansions. People are not going to be talking about all the 3 different expansions for World of Warcraft, the Diablo update. They're just going to be talking about, oh, did you see the Xbox exclusive? Like, I feel like they didn't want that messaging coming out of BlizzCon. Like, I could be wrong.
But if they had made the decision that this game is going to be exclusive, right? If they had, right, to be able to have that in your bag for the official announcement of that game at your own showcase or even like another showcase like the Game Awards, to get even more views, that has a different audience, like, is a huge carrot. Like, that, the next big franchise from Blizzard, the first new IP they've created in, like, forever, right? Since Overwatch, right? Like, that is something you have that is a massive thing that you could use to draw people to your ecosystem. If they had decided to, the announcement would be a big time decision on how and when it's made. It's not just like, hey, yeah, just do what you want thing for me. It's like, we need to make sure we manage this huge announcement. Right now, even if it's not exclusive, it's still a big deal announcement, and they could have still said, we want it for our show, or we want it to show this other place, right? Potentially as well. Like, they could have done that, but I feel like if it was exclusive, it could have altered their decision on when to show it.
You got thoughts, Pong?
No, I don't.
Okay, I thought you did.
Nope, I don't.
All right.
Yeah. It's interesting conversation, man. Alvin with the $5 says, Jasper, they got you in the Kobayashi Maru on this Odyssey thing. LOL. I just think it's a big deal, man. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of things that we're gonna learn about how they're gonna operate with this stuff over time. And like, how is it gonna unfold?
I guess.
Oh, here we go. Here's the reversal.
Yeah, I started thinking about it like, if they do E3 where it's now like Xbox, Bethesda, Blizzard, like I could see them having a Blizzard segment with Mike Ybarra out there and then announcing it that way. I wasn't thinking like them incorporating Blizzard as part of the name of that show, but if they incorporate Blizzard as the name of that show with E3, they could do it there.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Microsoft
what they're gonna
Gaming's
do.
E3.
I would just like start adding so many studios. You just have, all right, this is the Xbox. It's getting too big.
It's been the Xbox Bethesda showcase the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying now they own Activision Blizzard. So if you want to add those games, then
What is it going to be called? The XBabs?
Xbox show.
Just
Xbox
Microsoft
Bethesda
Gaming.
Activision Blizzard showcase.
Microsoft Gaming Expo.
It gets too long. Xbox Acti Blizz / Bethesda. It's just
MGE. Microsoft Gaming Expo.
It was just the Xbox showcase this year. Okay.
Fuzzy knows. Yeah.
With it plus Starfield Direct is what they called it, I think, or something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it's fun. Like the craziness is like these conversations you're gonna have about just one little thing about. It's like how they handle an announcement. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fucking like insane the next several years with ABK, dude. Maybe Jasper's right. I don't know, but like it's maybe.
I guess we'll look back in 3 years or whenever the fuck the game comes out. Right.
Well, Pong said like
Stealth strike. We were right.
The articles say that game may be sooner than we think, right? So, what was there? What did you hear, Pong, about the potential of that game coming out sooner than later?
Which one?
Odyssey.
The Odyssey.
Odyssey. Well, again, that's what everybody's picked up on, is that it has been in production for a lot longer than people are aware of. And again, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. A lot of it stemmed from Jez, right? And a lot of what he talked about on Xbox 2 over the past year and a half or whatever it's been, because he does actually know people in Blizzard. He is a huge Blizzard fan. He has been around the Blizzard community for a very long time. He knows some of the devs over there. He still has some connections. So again, take it with a grain of salt. Jez isn't always 100%. Nobody's 100% in this industry, but he did say that from what he was hearing, that it was getting closer to being done than just being started, right? So meaning that it was over halfway. Like it was, that's the impression that he gave, and that's where a lot of it came from. And there was a couple people that also agreed with him, that they had heard things as such as well. So again, like Jasper said, things could have changed internally. We've seen how many games get delayed internally that we thought were going to come out, right? Contraband, another one that we thought was close. Where's Contraband? We didn't even see it at this year's show. So there's been a lot of that over the years, and maybe they decided to change some stuff up. Maybe they did their own internal testing, like we heard Bungie did, and said, hey, we need to make some changes. This didn't get the reaction we thought it would. You just never know. But that's all I had heard. The same as pretty much everybody else around here. I mean, it's no different.
Yeah. Right on, man. So let's switch gears a little bit. Another Activision conversation though. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I feel like we're about to have another battle here, man. I don't know.
I know. This show is just gonna be me fighting the fucking battle.
It's funny though. So Call
Well,
of
if we
Duty.
all agree, I guess it's boring.
I like the fact that Jasper has opposing opinions.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You always gotta you gotta have
perspective.
the actually guy, the contrarian in the group. You know,
That's what I was saying. If we all agree, it's just us agreeing, and that's a boring show. You got to have some dissent.
Gotta have some. I don't know.
So Modern Warfare 3 came out. I haven't played it yet. It's in early access for the campaign if you pre-ordered the game or whatever, right? So Pong's played the campaign and Jasper's played the campaign. Have you finished it, Jasper?
I'm like halfway through. I probably got another hour and a half.
Okay. And Pong's like done like the 5th mission or something.
Yeah, I'm on the fifth mission. I believe.
Like 3 hours or so in, or something like that.
Yeah,
you'd
probably
say?
somewhere in there. Yeah, because
Okay.
I took this last mission I've been taking this last mission extremely slow. Like I was trying not to alert
Right.
anybody. I was playing total Splinter Cell action on this one.
Yeah,
So
that's my style too. With
yeah.
Has anybody else here played Call of Duty campaign yet?
No, not yet. I was gonna wait until the holiday sales.
Yeah, right on. Or Game Pass.
But the ad, how did you get by the ad? They force you to buy it. How are you playing your Xbox right now, Fuzzy? How?
I haven't. I'm now PC. I'm just kidding. No, but I when I turned on my Xbox, I saw the ad and it's like when it was for Starfield and for Forza. It's like
no, it's predatory. It forces you to pull out your wallet if you want to continue to use your
It worked
Xbox.
on you, Pong Soul.
Yeah, it did. It made it very easy for me to buy a game that I was already going to buy. So thanks, Xbox.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, you didn't have to go search up the game on the storefront and all that stuff. You know,
I've been trying.
You've been trying. What have you been trying to do?
Looks like he's downloading Alan Wake or Call of Duty or something.
It's been stuck on the Microsoft store for forever.
Oh, is that why you said you need a new Xbox?
Yeah.
That's
been a bug for like 15 years.
That happens to everybody.
I mean, besides that, I can't download anything else, so I can't. I just switched it to the store because whatever.
Well,
but
no,
switch it to the game.
Yeah,
I did. I just changed it like 5 minutes ago.
What you need to do is like hard reset and turn it back on, and that
I did.
That store.
I tried.
Yeah, the store thing.
Tried.
That's a fucking. I agree. That's super annoying. It happens all the damn time because the store like updates like every day or something, and it's like always gets hung up there. And you get sometimes I'll sit up there for like 2 hours and just sit there, and it's like, what the fuck?
Just
are you
all my
doing?
downloads get stuck at 0%, and I hard reset. I did everything, deleted games. And yeah, it's going to repair, so it's fine.
Yeah, so the game itself isn't downloading now either.
Nothing downloads. It doesn't matter what game.
Cancel the download for the store. Just I was able to download all the other games from before. Just cancel the download for the store, and everything else should work. Now, if you go to the store to make another purchase, then it's going to be a problem. But
yeah, that's fine.
At least be able to.
Is it downloading now?
No, it's stuck at.
Hold your controller button down. He's probably already done this. No, hold it. So it pops up like if you're going to turn off your controller. Yeah, and then it said say restart console. Try that.
Okay, I did, but I'll do it again. I did it during the show, actually.
And another thing you can do
like
is actually unplug your console from the power, and then plug it back in.
I did all the things. I looked up. Like I did the thing in your settings where you reset your MAC address or whatever. I hard reset the console. I've unplugged it. I think it just I don't know. It's broken or something.
What is the last console update you show? Is it 1026 or is it 10 or 11.3?
I'll check. Can I just check in the settings or whatever?
Yeah.
I'll check. We're doing live troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Do you even is your Xbox connected to the internet?
I just started. You see how it's like barely loading the home screen.
Yeah. Ray 08 asked,
it's just been slow.
Are you in the insider program?
I think I am.
Oh yeah, if you're in the alpha ring, I get the shit out of that.
I feel like
I have no problems.
Yeah, I don't.
I do feel like that
it fucking broke my Xbox One. I just like nope, no longer. I'm fucking going back to it.
I got out.
No, because they do.
I do feel like that. It generally that's probably what happened. Like something with the insider program, and then because that was the last thing I remember when my Xbox was working pretty good, and then I did something, and I don't know. Now it's been like I can't download any games anymore, and it gets really slow. Like,
you always have the most problems.
Factory reset your console?
So weird, huh?
Have you factory?
Yeah, I did everything.
I don't believe you.
That's okay. It only been like I'm the one that's suffering.
I know. I'm just messing with you, dude. Yeah, that sucks. Hopefully it starts downloading for you.
I mean, you guys could track it live.
You don't have any
backwards.
You don't have any expandable storage in it, like an external USB drive or anything.
That's the thing too.
I have a thing in the back.
It might
be the Xbox one or like a USB one.
The Xbox SSD thing.
Check that. to make sure it's
Yeah, I would take that out.
Take that
and
out,
then
yeah.
Try downloading.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes if
I have
something's-
all those, and mine's fine.
I know.
don't get-
I've had a problem before where like I had a storage device that was wonky and like
Yeah.
it caused other issues, right? So
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it out later. Check it out.
Okay.
It is going in repair.
and actually, this Xbox right here, the same. Like I've had that same problem with the storage expansion card before. Like I had to unplug it, plug it back in, and all that stuff. So anyway, well, we'll get back to Call of Duty. This is enough.
Thanks for live troubleshooting.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Call of Duty.
Thanks for calling
Xbox,
1-800
Tech
my Xbox.
Yeah.
Thanks for-
And well, look, we want to help you now because like I don't know, it's like that sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
we'll see.
because 3-Bits Xbox sucks ass, he hasn't played it yet. Psycho hasn't played it. You're waiting on it, right? Psycho, you said. Fuzzy's waiting for sale on it later. Pong.
No, I have the game. I just haven't played it.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah, I just been playing Star Ocean.
Okay. Right on, man. You gonna play it this weekend, you think?
Yeah, because my brother, he has it, and he wants to play before he goes. He has to do some duty.
Okay.
Okay.
Right on.
He's in the military. That's
yeah,
all.
do some duty. Okay.
Do some duty.
So it's going to be interesting because Pong Soul.
Yeah.
I'll start with Pong first. We talked a little bit earlier about how you feel about the Call of Duty, and you're loving it right now.
Yeah.
Do you seen a lot of the reviews out there for the campaign? IGN is the most prominent one, I think, that people are talking about right now, and they've given the campaign a 4 out of 10.
Yes.
People are saying this is the worst Call of Duty campaign ever, worse
Sure.
than Vanguard, worse than Ghost, worse than all of them, right? So where are you sitting with your enjoyment of the campaign so far, and like an overall sentiment of the reviews out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with the reviews again. Don't know how many more examples we need. The erosion continues. Again, people's opinions are what they are. That's why I was smiling before. I'm actually trying to have a conversation with somebody who is legitimately saying that my opinions come into question because I said Starfield was the greatest game for me ever.
That was that you were typing?
Yeah, and because I
Okay.
enjoyed the Call of Duty, because I'm enjoying the Call of Duty campaign, which according to somebody that the majority is saying is awful. So somehow my opinion is now in question.
Your opinion
Like,
is now in question.
Right. My personal opinion about how I'm feeling about a game I'm playing is coming in question. This is the same thing when it comes to reviewers. Until we standardize the review process, and we're talking about the professional reviewers out there whose job it is to provide their opinions, their professional, quote unquote, professional, because they're paid, opinions on games. Until this is standardized, this is what we have. It's no different than any of us saying our opinion on it. None. Just because they're paid, just because they have IGN in their header, it does not matter. It is just a random opinion from a random person. And it shows how worthless all of this actually is. Again, as I've always said, you can find people with similar voices that talk about certain games that you enjoy in the same kind of fashion. You can find those certain people. I do that from time to time. Again, I've shouted at ACG, obviously. Again, the guys over at Seasoned Gaming speak a lot of the same language I do when I'm talking about games. That's who I go to listen to if I do want somebody's opinion. The rest of them I read and take with absolutely less than a grain of salt. I just say, hey, this was one dude's opinion. I just kind of was curious what your thoughts were. They don't align with mine. Cool. But again, the professionals out here aren't underneath any standardized sort of system. So they're all worthless. Again, unless it's somebody that you trust in, unless it's somebody that you found to agree with you on a lot of your opinions about the same types of games, it matters nothing. I love the erosion of this illusion that these people are somehow above it all or better than a regular gamer who pops in the disc. Because at the end of the day, folks, Nothing has changed. It is you in the game. You can think a bad game that other people think is a bad game is great, and vice versa. Because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your time, you're spending with it. That value, that entertainment is all up to what you feel personally. And for me, at this point in my gaming life, at this age, I don't care what anybody says. If I love a game, I love a game. I don't care. Again, this dude is trying to tell me that my personal opinions, which in this case is my declaration of enjoyment for the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, is in question. I don't know how you can say that as any rational human being. Like, I don't get that. I'm not telling people to go buy this game. I'm not out here as a professional reviewer saying this is the greatest game of all time. You all need to go play this. No, I'm simply having fun with the Modern Warfare 3 campaign that they gave me. I had zero expectations for this campaign. Zero. Again, I don't have expectations for Call of Duty campaigns. I play them as they are. Certainly some are better than others. Would I say the Modern Warfare 3 campaign is at the top of my Call of Duty campaign list? No, I wouldn't. But am I having a good time with it? Yes. Do I enjoy the open missions where they do give you kind of that war zone mix in there, where they allow you to go find different weapons that are maxed out, all that kind of stuff, all the different gadgets, and you kind of get to play that level how you want to play it, whether that's stealth, whether that's run and gun. You get to decide how you want to play it. I just sat last night. I was supposed to go to bed early. I didn't, because I kept running missions because I was just having a good time. I sat with a smile on my face. It wasn't groundbreaking. It didn't change the game. I don't think anybody over at Activision said Modern Warfare 3 is going to revolutionize Call of Duty. We're trying all these fantastic, great new stuff. No, they use the same advertised speak they do with every Call of Duty. Everybody knows what they're going to get. It's the same with Madden. It's the same with any other game.
Yeah, Call of Duty does
franchise.
That Madden thing where it's
it's
tackle break 5.0.
Right. It doesn't. Again, I already know, because I know who I am as a gamer, and I know what these games are about. So I didn't come in with any expectations. All I simply said was it looked great. It feels great at 120. And I was having a good time with it, pure and simple. So I'm just enjoying it. I'm not judging it for anything. If I had to give it a first impression score right out the gate, high 7s, low 8s. I mean, again, I'm having a good time with it. I don't care about the length. I don't buy Call of Duty. I'm not one of the people who only buy Call of Duty for the campaign. In fact, if they came out next year and said, we're not having a campaign just like Battlefield did, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I know some people would freak out because they only play the campaign. Rand is the person who only plays the campaigns. So if you are one of those people where the campaign is super important, I've heard it's really short. I don't know yet. I haven't finished it, but I play my games differently than a lot of people do as well. So I will take slow approaches in Call of Duty campaigns. I will try some levels as full stealth. Other levels, I'll go hog wild and just grab the biggest gun possible and be blowing everybody up. I'm just liking what I'm seeing here. Again, the quality is up to par with other Call of Duties for me. I wasn't expecting the story to blow me away, but I'm actually enjoying the acting. Again, Markov in this game, whoever the actor is that plays Markov, even with his fake Russian accent, the energy that he's brought to the scenes that Markov has been in is cool. I was smiling and going, dude, this dude's kind of a badass, man. Love how they set this up. Love how they set up the prison break that they showed already, that first level. Loved it. And when I was playing it, I was like, yeah, this is damn cool. So I'm just having a good time with it. Not saying it's the greatest game ever, just having a good time with it right now. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Right on, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
How about you, Jasper?
So I'm going to start it with the negatives. I'm going to end with the positives on it. Starting with the negatives.
Positives?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess before we get to that, I would say right now, just early impressions, it's like a 5, but if the story actually has a decent ending and climax, I could push it to a 6 right now. That's just kind of general impressions. Starting out with the negatives, I personally don't like the open world missions. Pong seems to like them. More power to him. I think it's kind of lazy level design, in my opinion. I think this is honestly the worst level design that Call of Duty's had out of every game. The linear missions they do have that kind of is known for the Call of Duty formula that a lot of people like, I feel like they're super short and they're not as interesting. That's kind of the negatives. The length I really don't care about because I've played Call of Duty games and beat them in under 3 hours before, so it's like, who the fuck cares? I played Halo Infinite, beat it in under 2 hours, and people played it for 15 hours. The fucking length of the game, I don't give a shit about. Now, for the positives, I am really enjoying the story. So that's where the positives comes in and pushes it up to a 5, maybe a 6, because I do think that this game has some of the most impactful missions that I've seen in a Call of Duty game, at least the biggest surprise moments for me. So that being said, if it does pay off, it just all depends on if it pays off. It could be a 6, but I don't know. I've heard that the ending's disappointing, so I have to wait and see.
So you like the linearness of Call of Duty, which was what it's kind of known for, where you get like a squad together, you go in a house or something.
Yeah.
It has less of that, I'm guessing, or almost all of it is gone. Like
it has it. I would just say that they're not as like built upon. It's a smaller experience. It's not as like it's not like a 20 or 30-minute level. It's like a 5 to 10 minute level now.
So
it's
this is worse than Crossfire X right now to you.
Well, that's the
that a
multiplayer only game. This is a single player.
I don't care. You gave Crossfire X.
I judge a game by itself. I don't fucking compare other games.
Crossfire had campaign.
Yeah.
I didn't play the campaign. I only played the multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
Gave Crossfire
Whose
X.
fault's there?
Gave Crossfire X a 6, Jasper.
I tried to play the campaign. The campaign was fucking dog shit.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah.
So that may have brought Crossfire X's 6 down to a 3.
So here's the thing. I think the same thing. Like Jasper looks at reviews the same way some of these journalists does. Like I'm completely different on the way I look at reviews.
The reason my scale is so bad, I think, is because I've played super shitty fucking games just for gamer score. So I've played shit that most people wouldn't even be able to fucking stomach for 10 minutes. I played it for fucking 8 hours just to get 1,000 G's.
Yeah, but like you wouldn't say Call of Duty is one of those type of games, right?
No.
And
I would say those games are like a 2. That's why Call of Duty is like a 5. Because it's finishable.
Okay. So I guess like some of us older people, right? Grew up in a time when like 5s and 4s, like 5 was just like playable, right? 4s were broken.
I would say 1 or 2 is
the
like a broken
3s
game,
and below were just like shovelware, like the stupid shit that would come out that's like nobody ever touches, and it's like completely just like a fucking waste of everybody's time that doesn't even have a right to exist and feels predatory, right?
You get stuck in the main menu or something.
Right, like predatory, just like shovelware bullshit. Like that was like
E.T.
the 2s and stuff. Then you had your broken games, which were like 4s, and you had your like mediocre, just like, well, this is bad. It's 5. Then you had your like it's okay, 6, right? Then you had this is a good game. Not great, it's good, 7.
I gave Modern Warfare 2 last year a 6 because I thought that the story was like super weak and the level design was like they kind of just rehash stuff. So like I gave last year's a 6. So this is like maybe on par if the story is good.
So I'm trying to
or better.
Like, and I want to know from the chat if you guys are on with my thinking of kind of how my scale has always been with video games. Like when you see like meta scores or review scores, kind of 1 to 10 scale, kind of where we've been at. Like 7 was just kind of like a good game, like, and you can love a 7, right? You could absolutely love it. It could be one of your favorite things ever, but like, and it was good. It was good.
Yeah, but you never go below a 7 unless if it's broken.
No, I go below 7. I just don't play those fucking games. Why would I? Like,
5 minutes in.
8
Screw this.
would be great, right? And 9s would be like fucking like masterpiece type games. You know what I mean? Just like some of the best, right? And and high 8s too. Like a lot of the games that get like 80, like in the 80s now, would have used to have been 9s, like just all the time. It's just the way the reviews have gone. But
Yeah.
so I think for some of us, when we see a score like a 4, and a game is like high quality, it's just maybe has some level design options I'm not a huge fan of. Not a huge fan of where the story kind of goes in some places. Oh, but it's fucking one of the more impressive type games that exists. It's hard to process for
Honestly, though,
people
but
like me. You know what I mean?
Call of Duty hasn't like this Call of Duty doesn't feel like different enough for it to like be like revolutionizing Call of Duty to like
Yeah,
put it on that next step
that's-
compared to the old ones
Yeah.
either. So
No,
So-
that's fine. Yeah, I would say I agree with that. I also agree with that. Maybe would be overpriced because of the it's kind of like a piece together campaign. It seems like from what everybody's saying and stuff, which is what we predicted it was kind of going to be to kind of get another full price game out there and stuff like that. But like I just feel like there's certain level of quality that is still not appreciated with certain games out there because of it doesn't have this that I want, or it doesn't have and I'm not attacking you, I'm just saying like the mindset of a lot of the reviewers who will go out there and give a janky ass game that's like shitty as fuck and pretty much broken at times, but they're huge fans of the franchise or whatever. They'll give it like a 8 or 9 or whatever.
see, if
despite
I was to
everything.
play that Kong game or Gollum, I would have gave that a 1 or a 2. It wouldn't have been a 4.
Yeah, that's just
That
justified.
game was awful.
Yeah. But IGN gave that a 4. They literally IGN's like score is their value that IGN puts on it.
That's the hard thing is like when you're talking about like one person's review of a game compared to like a company that has multiple reviewers, like it's hard to like keep that scale the same because it's different people's different opinions, different reviews.
I mean,
whereas
but
like
that
if
same
it's just like an
reviewer-
individual reviewer, like they're like going to stay more consistent, I would feel like, and it's hard to get that consistency with IGN because it's again different people.
Yeah, but that's why they should
the
have
same reviewer
standards, right? Like
the same reviewer he reviewed Call of Duty in the past. I'm pretty sure he gave, what was it, Ghosts? I think he was the one that reviewed Ghosts and gave that like a.
somebody
Nice.
said IGN gave Alvin said IGN gave Call of Duty Ghosts an 8.8.
Ugh.
I didn't even play Ghost, but I can guarantee you it has a better campaign layout than this.
It's been a while since I played Ghosts. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the. I just find it's weird. Like I don't necessarily like IGN because of little shady stuff they do over the years.
And I
don't
see
think they're very
again,
credible.
Also to this point, like I see people always,
Yeah.
not always, but at least in this example for Call of Duty, I see people calling out IGN and they're like 4 out of 10 review. But the general consistency across all the gaming industry right now is this is a shitty Call of Duty. Like it's averaging like a 5 from a lot of reviewers.
And sure, right. I just in general, I've never really liked Call of Duty
I think the scales. I
IGN.
think they have different scales for different games.
I just with this specific Call of Duty, and I haven't played it, so maybe I will find it awful. I just in my head, just from what I've played from the other Modern Warfares, the gameplay alone is not worthy of a 4. That's just how I see it.
Here's something that I think would be interesting, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Put in perspective. There's never been a Call of Duty before. It's a brand new franchise. Modern Warfare 3, it wouldn't be called that, but let's say whatever. This was the very first game you've ever played from the franchise. Brand new IP. This game comes out. You play for the first time. The first time you felt the way the guns feel. The first time you've experienced the graphics. The first time you've experienced that kind of game. Guarantee you, IGN would not give it a 4.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me I'm wrong. There is no way on hell Anybody that would play a game of that high quality for the first time, that is not judging it based on a different kind of scale that they create in their head, would give that game a 4.
I agree. It would probably be like a Halo Infinite situation with this year's Call of Duty, if this was like the first example of Call of Duty. Whereas I could see it being high at the start, and then once people actually play it for like a month and they see all the shortcomings of the game, then it would get shit on. But people now see the shortcomings up front.
You think people would be impressed? Wow, this game feels great. You know,
they would be impressed at the start. They would be impressed at the start, but later on, once they found out all the shortcomings of the game, they'd be like, "Wow, this is actually pretty bad."
So
but right now they're seeing the shortcomings up front.
That's what I mean to the essence of judge a game. Like when these reviewers, you judge a game for what it is, not the expectations that they have preset in their mind about what it should be, and that is the core element of what is missing in games media. And because expectations for Starfield and what they thought that game was going to be negatively affected the scores on that in a way that it absolutely should not have, where people put way too much weight on something missing that was never going to be there in the first place. Like, so why is it even a consideration? Because it was never part of the game. You know what I mean? Like, it was expectations. Like, some games, people are putting in their minds about certain expectations that they have, and that is what they weight the game on. And then you have a game with 0 expectations. Like, if this would have been the first Call of Duty ever, no expectations, comes out, like, holy shit, wow, what's this? Or even other games that are janky as fuck and, like, new IPs and stuff, like, oh, you know what? Like, this is cool, whatever. Like, Immortals of Avium, they didn't give that a 4. Everybody thinks that game is shit. You know what I mean? But like,
I hear you, but at the same time, like, this year's Call of Duty, like, the fucking open world level design is so blatant that it's just a lazy fucking game design decision. Like, it's so fucking lazy.
Yeah. I mean, I assumed it would be Jasper just because of them kind of rushing this game. It's just because it was supposed to be DLC or whatever, just to say it's another title passing the licensing deals out of PlayStation or whatever their reasons.
I don't even think it was. I think they just.
You think it
was just Activision forcing someone. They were like, we need a Call of Duty out. Who's doing it?
Yeah, and I don't necessarily disagree. Like, I think in terms of Call of Duty as a franchise and stuff, I do feel that maddenness. I've been feeling that maddenness for years now with Call of Duty. That's just me personally. But with me having that feeling, I still don't see how it could get 4. But that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Like, just the gameplay alone, and what Mav just said, I think is the best way you could probably phrase it. Taking the game experience for itself, like, just in a vacuum.
Everything every game should be in a vacuum and judged for the enjoyment that you have with
that
the
was
game.
A huge thing with people for Starfield, not just reviewers, but even some gamers who were just kind of judging it like, oh, it doesn't have this, or
because of Bethesda, they're judging it based on Bethesda's history, right? So, like, it's
right.
And marketing.
That's a hard thing to get past with any type of review. Like, even when you're looking at, like, cars, for example, Car Fanatic here, right? Mm-hmm. You take something like, a 2020 Mustang GT versus, like, the latest, the 2023 Mustang GT. You're going to, it may have some upgraded features compared to the other one, but you're not going to just solely base it off of just that model. You're going to look to see what they've done as far as improvements incrementally over the previous version.
Yeah,
so
but
it's hard to.
But are you judging that based on other cars more so than itself, or are you judging it just based on itself? Because, like, I would imagine that car would still get a higher rating than a Mitsubishi piece of shit.
Well, I guess it would be like
car.
if a 2019 Mustang was like top tier Mustang, like 10 out of 10 review, and then a 2020 came out and it was like, well, this one actually does 15 miles an hour less, so it's like, it's shittier. It's like,
yeah, there have been times where the supposed innovations were like a step backwards, and they can get rated lower than like a previous model, or it's just that because it was the brand new design in 2019 versus now 2023, and they still haven't changed the nose or the tail lights, or maybe it's the seats are the same exact ones and they're not as comfortable as the competition seats, it can take away from the score because it's being judged against previous models or its current competition within that realm. So it's tough to have the gaming media just solely base a game on what they have in front of them. I mean, it would be great if they could, but we all know that they're going to look at either what they expected, much like with Starfield. Oh, it's a Bethesda game, so I expect it to be this level because of Skyrim and this level because of Fallout, and then it doesn't meet their imaginary, preconceived notion type of thing, but it does have all these other substances. But because it didn't have the thing that they were really looking for, they're already upset. So it's already got like a dock here or a dock there type of thing. But
yeah,
I don't know. The Call of Duty thing, I don't know. I hope, if anything, I kind of looked at this and we briefly joked about it before. This was the game that they, sent it in or pushed it out the door to kind of complete a contract. Was it rushed? Well, it seems like it may have been rushed.
I hear that, but like, even if this was a DLC, like they're giving you campaign, they're giving you a zombies mode, they're giving you a fresh multiplayer, and who knows what else? Like they were going to charge you $70 of the value for this anyway. They're giving you 3 different fucking modes of new content. Like,
so I had the same problem. I didn't have a channel back then, right? But like I had the same problem when Halo 5 Guardians came out. Right.
I mean, the fucking story in that was dog shit. That deserves to be a fucking 5.
What, Halo 5?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, so bad. Like, see, I
the best Halo ever, Jasper.
Right.
Shut up.
I disagree. Though, still the same concept applied. Like, for me, I was looking at the quality of everything in the game, and like, it was just fucking like at the time. There was not a game that looked as good as that game. Really, there was not a game that had played it as
fucking
well.
Republic Commando. Republic Commando did better fucking AI work with the squads than fucking Halo 5
anyway,
did.
No, here's the thing with Halo 5. I always say like the worst Halo is still some of the best.
Exactly. And it was my least favorite Halo. Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you had taken that into a vacuum and like you'd never heard of Halo before, like. This was like a brand new franchise, and that was the first game we got in that franchise. People would have been like, what the fuck is this? This is fucking amazing. Like, holy shit, look at the quality of this. Instead they give like higher scores to this like other bullshit, like janky ass stuff that comes out. That's like, wow, I really appreciate the effort from these developers. I appreciate
you trying to defend Halo 5, but let's be honest, that game can fuck itself. They lied to us. You watched Master Chief's ass for fucking 3 missions or whatever.
But my point though is that
tell me how you feel.
The quality of the
Halo 5 was my first Halo.
The quality of the product of like the actual like technical prowess of a game doesn't seem to count for shit anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
the big games that are capable of that get weighted on a different scale, and they have such high expectations that if they don't live up to somebody's preconceived notion, they drop the score significantly more than they do something that has no right to even be in the same fucking league as that game. Right? Like, that is my point. And this happens time and time again. The biggest franchises are weighted on a different scale, yet the score is still the same on the metrics, right? So how do people differentiate what is the shit from the premium if we're giving the premium type products a 4 and you're giving the shit type products a 7? How does that make any sense? At the end of the day, you're supposed to be judging the value to the consumer. And as the value to the consumer, I'm looking at like, well, this guy said that this is like a 7 or an 8, so I'm gonna play this, and it's like, what the fuck is this dog shit like thing? And I'm like this is broken. I can't even fucking play it.
The same point goes to like, you get these indie artsy fartsy games that get fucking 10 out of 10s. It's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? It looks like 3 pixels, but it's fucking game of the year because it makes you fucking cry at the end of it. Where you get Call of Duty where they spent $500 million fucking dollars trying to make it. You get this.
It can still be an amazing experience even with that, but like there's so many broken janky ass games that get like higher scores than a 4. Like four is
Well, the
broken.
reviewers took the word of EA that they were going to patch that day one, so they, you know,
four's
that was taken into account.
broken. Like four's dog shit. 4 is like fucking like worthless. Like you don't fucking go out and ever spend money on a 4. Like who the fuck would do that? Like voluntarily go to the store and buy a 4? Yeah, it like that's like that is reserved for like the shit of the shit usually. Like you know, you're the My Little Ponies that fucking like
hey bro, some of those can be bangers.
Some of
these
some of those games, right? Like, and then you see these games, it's like, wow, like this fucking like graphics are amazing, like this gunplay is great, this like story's pretty good so far, I'm liking the story, you know what, but like the last one was better. 4, like what? Like I don't understand, how does that make any fucking sense to me, anybody?
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
We did
now.
this,
I
we
don't-
literally
I don't
did
get
this
it.
conversation last year because they gave Modern Warfare 2 a 6.
Yeah.
It's the same. I feel exactly the same.
With that too. That fucking campaign was amazing.
No,
It was so fucking good. Like you never played a fucking shooter like with that good of graphics before ever. Like, and when that game came out, it's like, whoa, this is next level, right? Like, and if nobody had
Tarkov.
if nobody had played Call of Duty before that ever and had never heard of it, that game would have been like the fucking like most talked about thing of the year. You know, it probably would have won Game of the Year awards all over the place and stuff. Like it'd be like, what the hell is this amazing thing, right? But like people have their own expectations based on different scales now, based on every franchise and game. So the scores mean nothing.
And to
and
think
they'll still
about it,
probably sell 10 million copies, 11 million copies pretty easy.
Yeah,
in the
we're
first
arguing
couple
about a
weeks,
fucking
so.
Call of Duty score when it's going to sell fucking $1 billion in 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck cares?
yeah.
It's
At the
an
end of it,
ongoing discussion about game reviews. I fucking can't stand them these days, man. It's like it's garbage.
That's all right. I get my reviews from you guys, really. Honestly, like some of my friends and stuff like that. That is my reviews because these review sites, a lot of them have agendas, a lot of them follow each other, don't even play the game, and kind of what we're talking about now, where they degrade something in Starfield because of like what their expectations of the game didn't fit what the game is actually going for. It's just stuff like that. I can't stand. And I think to actually think about it, I think Pong had a very realistic take of how a lot of gamers should actually think about it. Like reviews don't matter. What you are playing, your opinion of a game, it might be different from my opinion. Jasper had a vastly different opinion than my opinion, and vastly. And I mean, we all have different tastes at the end of the day. I think the gaming media is just like I haven't been liking where it's been going the past few years. There are very few sort of actors in there that are doing great work, and I generally appreciate that. To just like, wow, there's still people out there that are doing the work, but for the most part, most of the gaming media, in my eyes, it's not what I
guess with like the Call of Duty thing though, is like I think this is like a larger statement on is like they're clearly cutting corners and like giving you less here, and making it a crappier game because either they have to or whatever. So I think that the review scores are reflecting on that. So it's not like these review scores aren't just made up to be like, let's fucking put a 4 on it. Like there's a general reason here that why this Call of Duty is getting lower. So it's not like a fake narrative. It's
just
there's a reason why this Call of Duty is scoring lower.
Yeah, because they don't like the fact that the game was not long enough for them, and the fact that this ended the PlayStation contract, and that pissed them off. So they're upset.
Yeah. I agree, but that's the problem with rating last year's game as 6 because that's your scale now. Because you can only go down from there.
And it's the Xbox tax. I know some people not agree with that, but last year Activision got announced, and Call of Duty is now a 6 out of 10. Oh, this year it's 4 out of 10, and it's gonna get lower and lower each year.
I mean, I've joked about
it's gonna be a
that,
1 out of 10, just
No,
because
Treyarch when
crying people.
Treyarch's next game, it's going to be like an 8 or a 7, guaranteed.
Okay, we'll clip that
This is
when we come back next year. When it's a 3 out of 10,
8, but it will be a 7 because of Xbox.
Whatever score it's supposed to get, you deduct one.
One because Treyarch's had the most time, and a large like consensus is a lot of people like the Treyarch games, so it's like
IGN will give it a 5 because they'll say it's slightly better than last game.
It's an improvement, but not far enough. Not innovative.
Yeah.
People regard Cold War's campaign like as one of the best campaigns in the last few years. So I personally didn't like it as much. But
I'll tell you why I didn't like it. I can't fucking play through it because it keeps fucking breaking every time I play the game. It's fucking buggy ass mess. Like I literally cannot finish that game without it breaking. Like
then I would understand if you rated that game a 4.
Yeah, broken.
That should be a fucking 1 or 2 if you can't fucking play it.
If you can't play it.
Break my console.
I couldn't finish the campaign. It kept the several different missions. It just kept breaking. Like I just got frustrated. Like the same part and the same levels. Like it would happen over and over and over again. Like I just couldn't fucking get through it. That
should stop intentionally making those bugs happen, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that.
Modern Warfare 2 was on another level though, man. Like great.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is what it is. And not everybody's gonna like the same games, right? But I think quality still stands for something.
Yeah. I mean, seeing things in the vacuum, it's kind of a complicated,
unless it's on Xbox.
That's true.
Because when you see things in a vacuum and you're just like you see games for what it is, but if it's in a long-standing franchise like Call of Duty, they're gonna compare it to whatever the last one is and be like, well, this one did it better, and they don't see the game for it in itself. And I don't know. Well, I think
that's like a double-edged sword though.
It's like a different industry though. Like you have movie reviews, you have game reviews. Like you have Call of Duty as its own industry now. You have Call of Duty reviews that are separate.
The thing is though, you want to. It's a certain point you do want to compare like Call of Duty titles because you want to have improvements. If you don't compare them, then you're never going to get improvement.
Yeah, that's why it's with Halo. I feel like it's different though, because every Halo I feel like is different.
The quality alone, like the scale starts at least at a 6 for me. Like. You know what I mean? Unless it's like broken. Like, I don't know.
What do you use 1 and 2s for?
Broken ass garbage shit. Like
that's your scale from 1 to 5 is just broken.
No, I mean, if I said 5 is like playable, just like whatever, just kind of a bad game, you're just not into it, whatever. It can be fine, but like 4s, you're starting to have like it's pretty bad, and then below there it gets to the predatory stable, like the number like 1, it should be like something egregious, like that this game even exists, like 2 is like just garbage, pure fucking straight trash.
If you want like 1 out of 3 games, buy the Soldier Boy console with the rip-off games.
Yeah,
there's your games.
3 is like, okay, these people, this is like their first game and they tried, but they obviously don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? 4 is like a Golem or like a Skull Island type thing, right? 5, you have like some okay games. You can find some enjoyment here and there or whatever, and then maybe like some people can play it, some people can't. It is what it is. 6, you're like, okay, pretty good. I can like that game. I can play it. Some people may hate it. Some people may like it. Whatever, but generally, that's a okay game. 7, more people think it's good. The overall consensus, hey, this is a decently solid game, right? It's okay. It's okay game, right? It's just not great. Okay. 8, hey, that's fucking good. This is a good game. This is a solid game. People should play this game. Try it out. I recommend this game. Everybody should be playing this game. 9 is like, holy shit, they fucking accomplished greatness here, guys. Everybody, go spend the money on this game because it is fucking absolutely epic. What an achievement. And 10 is like, some of the best of all time in the class, right? That's my scale. That's just basically what it is, right? And I have not ever played a Call of Duty except for maybe Cold War because it personally was broken for me. Like I couldn't get to the campaign. That would score. The scale would start at a 6.
Again, I will say this is just a campaign review. Like if I was tacking on the multiplayer, it would probably be like closer to a 7. But we're just talking about the campaign here, so
yeah. Anyway, that's my skill. I guess
weird. Yeah,
that's
it's weird to just review the campaign.
Yeah, it's weird that they do it separate now.
Is the multiplayer sold separately?
No.
Oh, that's weird.
Then
comes out a week later.
I mean, a truck review and just commenting on the bed of the truck. Hey, it's got 6 feet and you could fit a dresser in it. Well, what about the fuel economy? What's the ride feel like? What
did they get to play the multiplayer? Not at all.
I mean, they played the beta, but they've always just done campaign reviews for the last couple of years.
Oh, hey, spoiler! It'll play like fucking Call of Duty.
Well, that's a general consensus. If you want to be critical about it, there's differences.
Yeah.
Slide cancel.
Be interesting to see what happens here going forward with Call of Duty. This game's seeming to be kind of like what kind of thought it was going to be, but I didn't expect those kind of scores for something that has the level of quality that they put into those games. But it is what it is.
Well, I mean, the level of quality is fucking the worst they've ever had for a campaign this year. So
the graphics.
No, but
visual
design.
fidelity.
Visual fidelity, gunplay, like optimization, like
just general level design, which is a large aspect of that because that's what you're experiencing.
But that's also based on preferences too.
Well,
right?
some of it is, and some of it's just general. Like you can tell that they were lazy.
I'm talking about like technical prowess here. Yeah, but it is what it is. Games media, games reviews. It is what it is, I guess. It's the world we live in. But anyway, guys, we're gonna get out of here on that note. It wasn't as much of a battle as I thought it would be, Jasper, with you and Pong. I was hoping you guys would just get at each other's throats and Pong would be like, no, it's not
because like I just said, Jasper can have whatever feeling he has. I gotta laugh at some of his stuff sometimes, but bro, I don't give a shit. Again, play what you want to play.
I
play
said
what you love,
more power to
play.
Pong. He likes those overworld missions.
Exactly. How are Jasper gonna battle about it? Like I'm gonna waste my energy on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign.
Zoom with the gulag.
But Pong, again, Crossfire X is better.
Sure. Good for Jasper. I mean, again, ma'am, we liked Two Worlds back in the day, brother.
I loved it. Yeah, it was.
How many people will honestly say that? How many? We are in the vast minority in that, brother. But again, that's just us. Who cares?
Is there ever a game that you can think of that was kind of generally liked, but you all didn't like?
Oh yeah, there's plenty. Zelda. I have zero interest in playing Zelda.
God of War, The Last of Us.
Right, Mario Brothers. I could care less.
Yeah,
right? I don't give a shit.
No,
Pong, is it Robotech or is it Voltron?
Which one? What are you talking about?
Which Voltron? Just in general. Robotech or
overall,
which one's better?
My favorite, Robotech. Yeah. Robotech overall.
Okay, I agree.
Yep, absolutely.
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, there's been plenty of games. If you want to actually get down to something I have played that other people like that I didn't enjoy, probably God of War. I thought it was okay. I understood why people like it.
2018.
It just wasn't Spider-Man 20. Yeah, Spider-Man 2018. Same thing, Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's fucking.
I played it. Right, I played it, but some people think it's a GOAT of all time, right? I don't see that, but that again, I don't care. It's just not my thing. Played for 15 hours and put it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I tend to be the one that likes games that most people don't like Mass Effect, Andromeda. Yeah. I actually liked Halo 5. It was my first Halo.
Again, Fuzzy, once I played Mass Effect Andromeda and I took out once I got over my mental block and I finally just looked at it as a generic sci-fi game, I was enjoying what I was playing as long as I didn't think of it as a Mass Effect. That
Well, it was
a
my
trick.
first Mass Effect, so
Right.
it's probably
Different.
in that
Different.
vacuum. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely works.
Yeah.
See, I could play a game that I didn't like and still give it a review I think is respectable based on what it's trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? Like,
So
Sure.
what? Like you said, you didn't like God of War, for example. Like, what would you give that?
9.
But you didn't. It would be your review, so you're just like,
No, because I have to think about the technical achievement that they made in the game, like my personal like enjoyment of it,
Yeah,
necessarily its
see-
story. Like the quality is there.
Mav
Like-
and I would be terrible professional reviewers as it stands right now, because most games that I would review would probably be between a 7 and a 10, like the vast majority, and
Yeah.
most of them probably would be an 8 to a 10.
because
Because
those are the
I
ones
always find something.
those
I
are
always
the
find
ones you'll
something I like.
play though. Like you're not going to
Yes,
play like
yes.
4s and 5s too much. Like I mean, you will sometimes, Pog,
I-
but like
Yeah,
most
absolutely.
of these bigger games though, they're like going to be pretty high quality.
But I'm gonna
know?
I'm gonna think
Yeah.
myself, like if I was just reviewing myself, like most games are gonna come out for me. That's why some people have such a hard time, like this dude tonight. Some people just have a hard time with that. Like some people are like really critical about even things entertainment, right? I could sit down and
Yeah.
watch a shitty movie and think it's the greatest thing ever, and people will be like, "What are you talking about?" Like what we did with
yeah,
Mav or
fucking
about
3-bit
Solo,
over here,
right?
grave encounters.
So right. But I can find some enjoy. I'm easily entertained, folks. I can't be critical of things like that. I wouldn't want to be critical of things like that. I sit down and enjoy them for what they are. And
There's
are
a
there
lot you can
ones that I
learn
go,
from
"Meh"?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
see, and Spider-Man says, "Huh? What you didn't like it, but a 9? What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I don't have to necessarily enjoy
Right.
or whatever to be able to respect the accomplishment of what they made. Like
Correct.
I can watch a movie that I feel is
You can
boring,
acknowledge that.
but like I can look at it and be like, "Wow, that's
You can
like
acknowledge.
really impressive what they did." It's just not for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
if
You
I
can
But
take
like
yourself
I
out.
would say that too, but like at the same time, like I would be like, yeah, it's they made a great, they have great technology, they made great level design, they made all
Yeah.
this stuff is great. I just
Yeah.
personally don't like it, so I'd still give
Yeah.
it a 6 though. But I would say that it has great stuff, like, but it's just not a game
but
for
then
me.
that the review's not doing anybody a service because that's just so
And
personally
that's why
focused, right?
and
It's
that's
like,
why things need to be standardized, because back
Right.
in the day, again, Mav and I think both agree on this, like how Game Informer used to do it. They broke it down by section by section.
yeah,
So they
this
did
is like
graphics, they did audio,
sound, yeah.
and then they had overall score, right? Then they gave their overall opinion on the
replayability
game.
was one, yeah.
But I could look at some of
Mm-hmm.
their other things, even if their overall opinion was lower. I could look at some other things and pull out stuff that I was like, no, that's important to me here. So this game is looking like it's up my alley. That's the way I used
Yeah.
to love it, right? And I think that's what they need to get back to. It's a
Yeah,
great
this
point.
is a problem with the review, and everyone has their own fucking opinions.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
still until there's
Yeah.
a standardized setup and they certify a group of people and say, listen, you are going to follow these guidelines. This is how you're going to structure your reviews, and this is how you're going to look at these games. And it is going to be more facts based than it is feelings based.
And
Yes,
you're gonna have
there
to
will be
average it.
portions.
You're gonna have multiple people review the
Correct.
same fucking thing.
That's what I'm
So-
saying. It would have to be standardized. Right. Exactly.
That's why
I agree.
also aggregate reviews are better for like
Yes.
within a like IGN should have like biggest game should have multiple people reviewing the game and
and nothing should, and sites like IGN should not carry more weight at the aggregate
yes
level.
100%.
They should not carry more
Yeah.
weight. It should
because it's
all
still
be
one
even
fucking
across the
person,
board.
right? At the end of the day,
Correct.
so
Correct.
Mhm.
the back in the day, the reviews were more so based on quality aspects, right? And now the same way as games media has all been like opinion based articles, the same thing has gone to reviews. It's no longer about the quality aspect of the products. It's more so about, did I like personally this or not? And they're giving it their own personal score based on their own enjoyment of it. But back in the day, the reviews were all based on like those elements of a game, right? And like that's where I find value in reviews, because no two people are going to have the same feelings on enjoyment of certain aspects, and this person's opinions on what they like aren't going to necessarily ever translate to me. So at the end of the day, a personal feeling is pretty much fucking pointless unless you 100% are in sync all the time with that one person. And I have never found a reviewer that I am always 100% personal feelings. So,
but if you just review it based off like good graphics, then you're gonna like
no, that's
then
not
the game.
No,
No, I'm just saying like good graphics, good sound quality, good levels. If you just review it off all those technical aspects, then you're just gonna have like it's almost gonna be like reviews aren't gonna matter. It's not gonna be personal because you're not gonna. It's just gonna be like it's technically.
But that's
it's
where
great.
that's where the writing comes in. Also.
But that's where and that's where that comes in. And it's also having reviewers review games that they actually do enjoy to play. Again, that's like me, Jasper. I don't like rhythm-based games, so I played Hi-Fi Rush for the first level. Right, I came out of that game and said it's not for me because I don't like rhythm games. But there is no way I couldn't play that game and understand completely why people love that game, right? That I can pull my own opinion, even because I'm not a rhythm-based dude, and it still frustrated, even as easy as that was, and they made it, it still frustrated the hell out of me. I could pull myself away from that frustration and still see the quality that was in that game and still understand why somebody who does enjoy that type of game would certainly look at that and say, boy, oh boy, this is a really high watermark for a rhythm-based battler, right? I can do that 100%.
I can do the same thing with Souls games. I can do the same thing with fucking like The Last of Us. I can do the same thing with God of War. And you know, I understand, like, and I can see and I can feel the technical achievement and all the like quality that's put into it. But if I'm not having fun with it because it's not personally my cup of tea, like I'm gonna say, yeah, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? But like that's my personal feelings aren't gonna translate. Imagine that I was a reviewer.
But that's the problem. No one reads it. No one even reads the writing. You just see the fucking 7 or 9 or whatever.
Right. And that's the problem where it has to be.
But to your point, then I should be on IGN and give God of War a 4. Right. If I was the reviewer.
You should.
No.
Right. But that's why we look at these reviews sometimes and go, what are you talking about? Like, again, then it is not 100. Then it has nothing to do with because again, I look at that 4 for Modern Warfare 3. And again, this is where we need standardization.
This is why I hate the fucking number scale. This is why I prefer the buy it, fucking skip or whatever.
Because a 4 to me back in the day was close to broken. And I look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign and I'm like, where are you getting broken? Like, this is, again, from graphically to everything else I'm seeing, like, this is Call of Duty. So to me, that 4 is like, okay, you could say that as that's why I want it broken down, right? That's why I'd like to see him go back to broken down, because that 4 may be his personal fun factor with Call of Duty. That's fine. But that's not an overall score for the entire game, because games are yes, of course, at the end of the day, should be all about the fun factor, but that's his personal fun factor. But the achievements within the game itself, for somebody who doesn't necessarily think that way about the campaign, like myself, my score is going to be higher. And as a professional reviewer at IGN, if I was somebody who was that critical of Call of Duty campaigns and I had these high watermarks that they needed to have certain things in them, I wouldn't review that game. I would turn it down. But that's not what happens at these big review sites. They have anybody who grabs it, or whatever they do, round robin or whatever however they decide, they get people who don't necessarily look at those games that way and give it a 4 because the fun factor for them wasn't there. But that's not going to share everybody's. And you're right, Jasper. The numbers score system sucks right now. How they've got it set up.
Yeah. So, for example, for me, if I was to use the scale that I used to exist, or like when we were doing reviews occasionally on FSP or whatever, that's why I created that model, because I think it's fair, right? Like, because games have different aspects to them other than personal enjoyment, right? Or personal bias.
Yeah, I just feel like the scale's so broken now. It's either like fucking 8 or
everybody
fucking
uses it
dog
differently.
shit.
And everybody uses it differently. And some people use the 5-star system, which doesn't translate to the number system, even though the aggregate sites do translate it into the number system. It's all broken. That's what we've been saying for a very long time. All of it is. And shout out to Wizzy Tekken
when there's another bad review.
Shout out to Wizzy Tekken. I don't know if he's in the chat or not. He might be lurking, but he just posted on X, right? And Mav, he posted it to me, but he posted, Yo, brother Pong Soul, you're not alone. I love Two Worlds as well. Cult classic
Oh,
game right there.
yes.
Even though the second game was a better game, but the first game always has a special place in my heart. Shout out to Weezy
I preferred the first one to the second one personally, but it is what it is, right? Two Worlds, man, underappreciated little game that came out. Well, it wasn't little. It's a big game, but it had its issues. But
yeah, a lot of people didn't like the game Dark Sector, and I love that game. That was the game that Digital Extremes, I think, made before Warframe, I believe, if you guys remember that one.
Yeah, it had the glaive weapon.
Yeah,
right?
Like
boomerang thing. Yeah.
It had multiplayer back in the day, and I used to play that all the time.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. You know what I mean? I see those scores sometimes on stuff that's like so well made, like as far as technically, like, and it's just like how, it's like, anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But guys, that's gonna be it for the show. I said that 30 minutes ago, but for real this time. Psycho, tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. It was fantastic to see you guys on another Friday evening, spending time with us on Xbox Ultimate. But you guys can see me everywhere on X or Twitter, however you want to say it, at Psychonauts 8. And you can find me Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 10 o'clock with the shows on the Fun Speculation Network. And y'all enjoy your what's left of your Friday into your Saturday morning.
Yeah, right on, man. Appreciate it. Jigga J hit us with a $5 super chat. Said, whatever happened to the compressed game files we're supposed to get with these new systems? They still don't respect our drive space. Yeah. Hey, shout out real quick to Ubisoft, because I downloaded Assassin's Creed Mirage, Crew Motorfest, and Anno 1800. And they were all like, all three of them together were like less than 80 gigabytes. Props to you for that.
Yeah.
But they're not small games.
Yeah, what in the world?
So
Call of Duty is like 200 gigabytes or something.
it is every year now. It's ridiculous.
You don't have to have everything installed on Call of Duty, though.
It's
Yeah.
still crazy.
Uninstall the campaign after you beat it 4 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes from 200 to 120.
Alvin with the $2 says IGN gave Blinks an 8.8.
I like Blinks.
Yeah, I don't
What's
remember
wrong
if I
with-
liked Blinks.
what's wrong with
That's back
Blinks?
in the day. Isn't that back in the day on your review scale? So I guess that's a masterpiece.
Blinks at 8.
I don't
It's like,
I don't know.
I
like
I,
a
actually
12
I
now.
can't remember.
I don't remember if I liked it or not.
Yeah, I can't. I remember like back in the day I really liked it. I had the demo disc, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, yay. But I don't think
I don't
ever
even
beat
know
it.
if I played Blinks.
It was on the original Xbox, right?
Yeah, it's OG.
Am I thinking of the right
Yeah.
game?
I may have just thought it was like a kiddie game or something and not touched it. I don't know. I was playing Halo. Like I was playing Halo, man. Like it's
Yeah.
all I played was Halo or like Splinter Cell, Mass Effect, like all those games.
Oh, you played Mass Effect on the OG Xbox? That's
well,
insane.
360, whatever. All those original like great franchises that were back in the Xbox days. Yeah. I didn't touch a lot of that early stuff. Other things. Everybody talks about Conquer also. I don't know how much I played at Conquer.
All I remember is the poopy monster, and then
I remember playing
The,
Time Splitters like that.
the World War II D-Day scene in Conquer. Those are the scenes that stick out in my head.
Yeah.
I don't remember which Conquer that was or whatever.
Mech Assault, Crimson Skies, played the shit out of those. Played a lot of fighting games, all that stuff. Dead or Alive, great.
Dead or Alive beach volleyball. Yeah, great physics.
Equal physics.
3-bit. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Everyone can find me on Twitter at i3bit. My post about Spider-Man, go check it out. Interesting.
Yeah.
interesting conversations.
Yeah,
about
breaking
bugs and when they're allowed.
A lot of idiots in that tweet there, buddy.
Yeah, that was interesting. Can't post bugs in a game or else I'm forcing it somehow. Just like I just want to become a monk sometimes and just
You should
like,
really try to get back into the combat zone. Like, I don't know what you were doing.
Yeah, you weren't zip lining it right. You know, you didn't do this R2 zip line with an X button with the Y. You didn't do that, so it's your fault.
Yeah.
it was
You were
such
forcing
purposely
it,
like,
just
broken
forcing
again.
it.
having people say like that I'm looking for bugs or that I was playing the game wrong and I should have been playing it exactly how Insomniac intended. This interesting conversation. It's just like, wow.
How can you play a game wrong, 3-bit? Make that
didn't
make
know.
sense.
I didn't know that was possible, but that's where you guys can find me. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. I guess FSP on Monday and then Fun Pop Tuesday. We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about with Loki. I'm loving that show. And
Bubba Hotep. The movie Bubba Hotep we were supposed to watch.
Bubba Hotep. What the heck?
Wasn't it Bubba Hotep? We were supposed to watch
What
that?
the fuck are you even saying?
Yeah, what is that word?
Hereditary.
It's a
Bubba
movie. I thought you guys said we had to go watch Bubba Hotep.
What the fuck is
Bubba
Baba?
What are you saying right now? Baba Hotep?
Yeah.
All I know is
Spell it.
Hope Tech is the shipbuilder for cargo ships on Starfield, but Bubba Hope Tech, I don't know.
Is that like?
Is that English?
Yeah, it's the name of a movie. I thought that's what you guys were telling me.
No, we said to go
We've
watch
never heard
Hereditary.
or said that in our entire
I've never
lives.
heard that word before.
We said watch
I heard
It Follows, and Hereditary.
Oh, oops.
What the-
What the heck?
I got another
Did
movie.
you find a movie
What?
called Bubba Hope Tech?
Bubba Hotep. Yeah.
How do you spell that?
What is he
Bubba
even
Hotep?
saying?
Baba.
Hotep. I think
Hotep?
it's yeah, Bubba.
We never
Hep.
said those words.
I-
How do you even say that in a casual conversation?
Bubba Hotep.
Okay.
The fuck is this movie?
The 2002 American comedy horror film.
Yeah.
We never even
Stars
brought
Bruce
this movie up.
Bruce Campbell as Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Never heard
Psycho, we've never mentioned this movie ever.
Oh,
of it. Psycho, I'm seriously worried about you, bro.
well,
need to have
I
an
watched
intervention.
I watched a different horror movie. Sorry, guys.
He totally made up a whole conversation in his head.
What the fuck is
And
that?
then went and watched a movie based upon that conversation. Brother, I am really worried about you, bro.
We've never said Baba Hotel. What the
Fuck.
heck?
Hey, that could be something for what do
I
you
mean,
call it?
now I
for
kind
the
of want to
following
watch
week.
it just because you mentioned
It's
it.
got a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, have audience score, and it's certified fresh with a 79%.
Oh my gosh.
I liked it.
I mean, I'll watch it, I guess, but
Required watching.
sure, I'll watch it for our Fun Pop. On
Yeah, you made us watch that damn whatever the fuck that was called.
Hereditary.
no.
Grave Encounter.
Grave. Yes.
That's fair. But the thing is, like, I like watching bad movies and I enjoy them, kind of like what Pong's saying. Sometimes you take it for what it is and you're having a good time with it, and then bam.
There you go.
It is.
Watch Bubba Hotep and experience greatness.
Sometimes we make up
Greatness awaits.
conversations in our head and discover great things.
That
You know?
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuzzy
I'll watch it.
Belvedere.
Sorry.
Where can everybody find you, sir?
Just thank you for having me on. It was awesome being on here with you guys, even with imaginary spoken to existent movies and game review talk. This was fun. For those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter, Fuzzy_Belvedere. Shop podcast tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on PTK Blam's channel. And then right back here for FSP, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks again.
Right on, Fuzz. Appreciate you. Jasper, make sure you tell everybody where they can find your overly critical, cynical, contrarian, actually ass.
Yeah, if you want the facts and keeping it real, you can check out Lore Master Jasper on Twitter, Lore Jasper on YouTube, or the other way around. Yeah, I said that wrong. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 10 o'clock right here on Fun Speculation Network, FSP, Fun Pop, and Xbox Ultimate. And if we're not playing a game or anything, that I'll probably finish streaming Call of Duty campaign. So after we just got to shit on, I'll finish it.
Nice.
Right on. I think Jasper's applying for a job at IGN. Is that what's going on, Jasper? Are you?
I can't work there because I called him out.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for being here, bro. Appreciate you as always. Pong Soul, the other objective person here that can look at things objectively. Right. Where can everybody find you?
Yes, sir. What a good night, brothers. Great to hear everybody's opinions on some of the stuff we covered, but obviously BlizzCon being a big one.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Diablo 4's expansion. I know we really didn't touch on that either, but Vessel of what is it? Vessel of Rage?
Hatred. Yeah.
Hatred. Vessel of Hatred.
Bubba Hotep?
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep is the new expansion coming from
Yeah.
Blizzard next year on Diablo 4. We don't know what it's about.
Crossover event.
Yeah, crossover event with Elvis Presley as the new character class. It's going to be freaking amazing. No, I am looking forward to that, but BlizzCon was really good today, even if we didn't get the surprises or the reveals that we thought we might. Still had a great time and loved listening to you guys earlier today cover it while I couldn't. So appreciate you guys for being here. Chat, guys, always coming out, showing up, showing strong, giving us the support. As I said on all my shows, you guys are as much a part of this as we are, even if you are in the chat, whether you chat or whether you lurk, whether you listen to 5 minutes or, you know, a couple hours, 3 hours, it doesn't matter. You're all make this go. So thank you all for being here tonight. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, set those alarms, set those reminders, because Living Split Screen will be back live, raw and uncut. Episode 125 with my brother from another Steel, Rainï and I, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Be there, because I know Steel and I have got some opposite opinions on some things that have happened this week too. Again, Mav and I talked about the Cliffy B situation last night and actually turned into a bigger conversation. Definitely think Steel and I will be touching on it tomorrow. So join us there tomorrow morning for some different types of conversations. 3+ hours, normally 4+. Be there early. Can't wait to see you all. And then, of course, tomorrow night's the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. PTK Blam, Fuzzy, myself, and Fuzzy. Did he announce a guest this week yet or not? I wasn't paying attention.
I think it's your brother Steel.
Is it Steel? Steel's going to join us tomorrow night? Well, hell yeah. You get a double dose of Living Split Screen. Let's go. So be there tomorrow night. The best way to end your Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Next week, it starts all over again. Of course, Tuesdays, Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. Mr. Boomstick is the man. All good things green every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. And then right back here Thursday night. Fun Speculation Network, PM in the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. It's the golden age of gaming, folks. Get out there, have a great weekend, play what you love what you play, and I'm going to talk to you all real soon. Thanks for being here. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Right on, man. Appreciate you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream or the show tonight. If you didn't catch the BlizzCon stream, if you want to watch it, just go back and check it out. We did the co-stream earlier today. Lots of cool things there, but we also got some other shows coming up next week. We got Back in the Saddle for FSP on Monday. Tuesday, we got Fun Pop, where we're gonna talk about Hereditary or Bubba Hotep. I'm confused now.
Yeah,
We'll figure that out. And then Thursday, back with or PM in the PM. But you all rock, and I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic night. Peace out, everybody. Later.
Bye.
Good show.
Good night, everybody.